WRB News FM 103.9. Ang himpilang magbibigay ng mga impormasyon sa larangan ng edukasyon, kalusugan, pangsakahan, kapaligiran, musika, natatanging kaalaman, at mga pinakahuli at sariwang balita sa loob at labas ng bansa. DWRB News FM. Ang himpilang ikaw ang una. Ikaw ang una.
Bahay OFW, ang programang magkakaloob sa inyo ng mga kaganapan sa kalagayan ng mga overseas Filipino workers sa buong daigdig. Bahay OFW, ang programang magbibigay daan sa mga panayam sa mga tao at ahensyang responsable, gagabay at aalalay sa mga OFW. Bahay OFW, ang programang mag-uugnay sa mga tao at ahensyang tutugon sa kanilang mga kahilingan at hinaingin para sa kanilang kabutihan at kapakanan. At ngayon, pakinggan at tunghayan natin ang inyong kasangga, si June De Vera, sa programang Bahay OFW.
Hello. At pasensya na kayo at a few minutes late tayo dahil we're still waiting for our guest. Although isa na yung naka-online sa atin at yung dalawa na lang at yung tatlo na lang hinihintay natin, no? At of course, while waiting for the others, let me just try to siguro habang naghintay din, konti lang naman ito. Konti lang naman ito. Let's greet happy birthday muna, birthday greetings muna siguro doon sa konti lang naman ito. Okay? Belated happy birthday. May 13, Rotarian Datu Sukarno Abu Almoro. Raul Abreu ng Issues Bank PF Homes Sukat Store or Sukat Branch. Ronnie Alcaraz, my classmate sa Notre Dame of Manila. Schoolmate from from elementary to high school. May 14, belated happy birthday, Ding Carola. At saka kay Boyet Yetski Viernes, another schoolmate and classmate of mine sa Notre Dame of Manila. Today, ang may birthday, marami-rami na konti. Of course, nakungunit the mother of my children, Chona de la Serna Garces de Vera. And of course, ang aking mabait na kaibigan na laging visit, laging nahuhuli sa usapan. Pagka may pinangako sa iyo, dumarating naman, kaya lang laging late. Anyway, joke lang. Anyway, fellow Rotarian, Marichu and Reforma Andamon, yan ang may-ari ng hard-earned opportunities, isang licensed recruitment agency. Jerry Javier, my friend, kaibigan, kapatid, ito isa sa mga one of the top likers ng post natin sa Facebook, no? Tapos si George John Consuelo, anak ng dati kong executive assistant na si Weng Consuelo. Napakapogi ng batang yan. Kaya lang maliit pa yun, hindi ko na nakita nung lumaki. Ngayon yata nasa Merchant Marina, no? At saka yung Jericho Enriquez, another schoolmate of mine from elementary to high school. Elementary, magkaklase kami yan almost every year. Almost. Pero no high school, parang hindi na yata kami naging magkaklase. Yata. Anyway, Jericho Enriquez, happy birthday today. Although sabi mo nga 3 o'clock dyan. Yung replay na napanoorin mo. Tsaka yung gumagawa ng si Jason. Yung Jason's Bahay Kubo, gumagawa talaga siya ng customized Bahay Kubo. Birthday niya ngayon. No? Advance happy birthday, April 16, which is tomorrow, si Lancel John Aris Forster. Kaya niya si Janet Foster. Okay. Lars, advance happy birthday bukas ha. Si Joshua Nigdao. Advance happy birthday. Dating taga rito po sa amin sa DWRB yan hanggang sa gumraduate siya, lumipat siya ng GMA. Ewan ko, nasa GMA pa siya ngayon. And of course, si Pipi Bariyuda, isa sa mga magagandang past president ng District 3810 yan, ng Rotary International. At maraming bumibilib dyan, yun nga lang parang, if I'm not mistaken, somebody passed on in her family. I'm not sure whether, basta isa sa family niya na talagang medyo nalungkot siya, ha? And of course, I sent my condolences. March 17, the Honorable Resty Sarmiento Cebu, Vice Mayor ito ng isang bayan dyan sa Pampanga. I forgot, nakalimutan ko basta Vice Mayor to. Pero dating OFW to, tumakbong Vice Mayor, nanalo naman. Vice Mayor Resty, advance happy birthday, March 17. Ba't di mo ko niyayayin sa lugar mo para makakain naman ako ng mga alimangot, mga hipon dyan. Masasarap ang pagkain dyan. Of course, my good friend Alfonso Gomez Pedroche, former editor-in-chief ng Filipino Star, dating boss ng aming past President Ellen Fernando. Okay? March 18, advance happy birthday. Si Jobien Gumpal ng Sabon Dipo, isa sa mga longest supporter ng ating program. Birthday pala ni Mabel. Mabel, happy birthday ha. Kaya pala dapat makinig ka. Dahil dati siya taga-PY, nag-retire na. Hindi ko nga alam na wala naman sa mukha niya na retireable na eh. But siguro dahil baby face siya. Ha? Pero si Mabel isa sa mga amiable executives ng POA before it became, nag-retire siya before it became the Department of Migrant Workers. Si Roberta Bobby Mercado. Bobby, yan ang anak ni dating the late Eddie Mercado. Bobby, happy birthday ha. Hope you are okay with your kids and all. Okay, April 19, Alvin Curada, si Sir, alam ko attorney nito eh. Nasa OSHC siya ngayon dati kasama ko ito noon nung nasa Dole siya, of course under ng Dole ng OSHC. Kasama ko to sa Indonesia noon, kasama si Levin Alcantara na POEA when we were talking about yung mga fishermen sa Indonesia under sponsorship ng ILO. Yan kami nagsama-sama last time. Past President Alex Santiago, actually hindi ko alam kung anong club ito, no? Rotarian, fellow Rotarian Alex Santiago. Okay, former member ng aming club, Frank Wolf, kaibigan din ito ni attorney at saka Labat Dalilo de la Torre. Frank Wolf, he's now retired sa sa Davao, no? Sa farm niya ngayon. So medyo and of course sa ang aming CP past District Governor Tranquil Herbacio Salvador III ng Rotary Club of Malate Prime, siya ang aming charter president at naging district governor way back when? Way back 2008 yata yun or 2006, 2007, parang gano'n. Of course, April 23, past district governor and loving governor, Rosie Go. Siya ang governor ng aking sinundan, si PP past President Rob Raroque. Okay? Then my term. Ako ang ikatlong presidente. And my good friend in Japan, Yamato Shigeki-san, Tanjiobi Omedito, or happy birthday. My schoolmate from Notre Dame of Manila again, Frankie Naranjilla or Francisco Naranjilla. Nakasama ko to sa Taiwan one time nung bumiyahe kami doon. Very brilliant guy, and of course he's already retired. Siya yung, kung nakikita niyo yung nagtataas ang tore ng smart, siya lahat ang nagtayo niyan sa buong Pilipinas. Kaso sabi niya sa akin minsan, kaso lagi pinapabagsak ng mga NPA lalo pagka nakakalimutan magbayad ng tax. Joke lang yun. Anyway, and last but not the least, past President Bernadette Bas Punsalan. Okay? Again, I do not know what's the ano ang club nila, pero yan. Okay, nasa background na natin si Muhammad Al-Baitam at saka si Atty. Kiko de Guzman. Hinihintay na lang natin si Manong Lito at saka si Kwan. But just bear with me. I will be with you. Magkano lang tayo, isang commercial lang tayo. And we'll go straight to you too para maumpisa na yung discussion. Para hindi masayang yung oras. One moment lang, ha?
Mga pili at natatanging impormasyon mula sa himpilang DWRB News FM. Ikaw ang una. Ikaw ang una.
Okay. Kwan po tayo. Ang sabon di po. Sandali lang, ha. Sorry. Medyo mahirap ito, nag-iisa talaga eh. Anyway, sabon di po. Philippines ay may mahigit ng 10 taon na sa merkado ng franchising business at merong mahigit ng 500 franchises or outlets sa buong bansa. Mayroon silang 11 manufacturing sites sa buong Pilipinas at sa mga sumusunod na buwan ay magbubukas sila internationally sa Malaysia, Indonesia, Spain at saka sa Italy. Okay? Sa Europe. Anyway, mismo sila ang meron silang mga in-house chemists na gumagamit ng panibagong innovation or chemicals na kung tawagin ay green or plant-based formulas bilang active ingredients or sangkap na ginagamit nila sa kanilang mga produkto. Kauna-unahan sa merkado sa pag-introduce ng paggamit ng refilling program na tinaguro ang environmentally friendly dahil pinaghahandaan pinabababa nila at iniiwasan nila ang paggamit ng single-use plastics na yun ang nakakasira ng ating kalikasan. Kaya yung minsan yung nakakain ng mga isda yan. Okay? Yes, you are, Sir Manong Kiko, you are already in. Dahil nyo lang yung inyong gamit na container at ang inyong refill para yung refill na lang inyong babayaran. So yan po ang sabon dipo. So dalhin nyo lang yung inyong empty container na nilinis nyo siyempre, no, ha? So yan po ang sabon dipo. Maraming salamat po. At balik po tayo sa ating programa. Okay, yan po ang ating kwan. Yan po ang ating guest. Papapasukin na po natin yung ating mga guests. Siyempre, una natin si Atty. Guzman. Bakit wala kang naka-mute ka, Atty. Guzman? Yan.
Hello?
Yan. Ayan, wala kang And of course, Muhammad Al-Baitam, I love your mustache. You are driving.
Yeah. I am.
Anyway, okay, here I am. You're on the go. You're on the road right now. Okay, yeah. So of course, we may be speaking in English, but Muhammad here is Filipino.
Even Tagalog, Raul. Okay
Even
lang
Tagalog he speaks because he's a Filipino citizen.
Yeah, wala
So,
akong problema. Mag-Tagalog kayo.
walang problema. Okay, okay.
Okay.
We're still waiting for we're still waiting for Manong dito and Manny Jeslani. Manny
Okay.
Jeslani, he told me is uh, mahuhuli daw si Manong dito. Mahuhuli daw. Anyway, okay. Sandali lang. Kinakausap ko lang yung technician ko eh. Sorry. Alam, mahirap talaga pagka remote ang ko eh. Pag remote ang yung broadcast eh. Manong dito will be joining us a little later. So medyo standby lang. And so is Manny Jeslani, by the way. He is now in the yung aming past president, Ann Kisa. Hello, shout out. Yan ang may-ari ng JBR Overseas Employment and aming past president sa Rotary Club of Marati Prime. Hello, Pipi Ann, how are you? Okay. So, now, according to the latest, bago tayo broadcast, it is said 3,000 workers daw ang pending for deployment, no? And nawala si Muhammad. Anyway, dahil siguro sa signal. And then, unfortunately, mukhang ayaw mong magpakita ng ganda ng lalaki mo. Of course, nagsha-shout out naman ang ating kaibigan from Malaysia, si Architect Jazz Santos. Anyway, Attorney De Guzman, what say you about the current situation? Can you start the ball rolling?
Ganon. Can we start with a short history of the deployment to Kuwait? Para
yes, please. Para meron tayong basihan. Naman. Without appreciation of the history, we cannot appreciate the present. Tama. I agree. Go ahead, please. You have the floor, Attorney De Guzman.
Thank you.
Kailan wala kang video, sayang di na makita yung ganda ng lalaki mo. Go ahead.
Hindi ko alam kung ano diferensya nito.
You have to push
camera,
you have to push the camera para naka-stop cam ka eh.
Hindi nakalagay stop cam. I pressed it already. Wala din eh. Wala.
Don't press it. Otherwise, mag-stop yung cam mo. Don't press it.
Yan.
Ganun. Yan ang malabas.
Hindi ko alam kung ano.
Then there's something wrong. Ano yan? Laptop o cam? Anyway, proceed.
Okay.
Desktop. Baka may problema na ng camera. Anyway, so please proceed, sir.
Okay. On February 10, 1988, tagal-tagal na rin, no? The Department of Labor issued Department Order Number 1, Guidelines on the Temporary Suspension of Filipino Domestic Workers. Worldwide to, worldwide. Panahon ito ni Presidente Cory Aquino at saka ni Secretary Drilon. Okay. So, kasama doon yung Kuwait, And in a series of memorandum circulars later, nilift yung mga yung suspension with respect to specific countries. I could not trace when the lifting for Kuwait was done. No? But anyway, on September 14, 1997, nakapagpirmahan tayo ng Memorandum of Understanding on Labor and Manpower Development with Kuwait. Okay.
Okay.
And then came the Household Reform Package in 2006. Okay. So, in 2006, ang na-deploy natin sa Kuwait, 19,097. 2007, 4,806. 2008, 8,092. 2009,
Okay.
14,087. 2010, 21,554. And 2011, 28,290. Now, on June 12, or June 28, 2012, the PUA issued the Governing Board Resolution number 8 declaring Kuwait, among others, as compliant with the Republic Act 10022 without prejudice to negotiations for the protection of rights of household service workers. In 2012, we deployed 34,405. 2013, 26,788. 2014, 29,195. 2015, 39,669. Pero noong 2016, we deployed only 2,310. 2017, we deployed only 1,400. On February 14, 2018, the PUA issued Governing Board Resolution number 1 banning the deployment of new hires to Kuwait. This was because of the deaths of about 8 Filipinos, including Joanna Daniela Di Mafilis, yung nakita
ito yung nasa Fraser.
Yes, Ngayon, on May 11, 2018, bali 3 months after the suspension, Secretary Cayetano signed an agreement on the employment of domestic workers. Dahil dito,
Muhammad, you need to use an earphone, Muhammad. Sorry. Hindi raw tayo madinig ni Muhammad eh. But we are coming 5 by 5. I think your phone, because you're traveling, is not absorbing enough. Anyway, sorry, Kuya Franz. Please proceed. Do you have an earphone? You need to use an earphone. Yeah. Or a headphone. In your, I already mentioned it in my message to you. Otherwise, you will have a problem listening to our conversation. Anyway, go ahead, Attorney Guzman.
Okay. So nakipagpirmahan nga noong May 11, 2018. Because of that, the PUA issued DBR number 2 lifting the ban on the deployment to Kuwait on May 25, 2018. Kaya yung ating deployment noong 2018 umabot sa 18,507, and in 2019, 38,572. Now on January 20, this is during the pandemic already, the PUA issued DBR number 1, again banning the deployment of new hire domestic workers because of the death of Gineline Paternal Villavende. Okay?
Can you hold on sandali lang? Attorney Kiko, can you just give me a minute? Muhammad, can you get out and then get in again? I mean, maybe something is wrong. Can you hear me? Let me just... sige, go ahead, Attorney. Magme-message lang ako kay Muhammad sandali. Go ahead, continue your con.
And then this was expanded on January 15, 2020 by virtue of GBR number 4, imposing a total deployment ban. On February 2 and 3, 2020, the Philippines and Kuwait approved a harmonized employment contract for domestic workers, which is why on February 6, 2020, the PUA issued GBR number 6 lifting the ban on OFWs except domestic workers. And on February 13, 2020, it issued GBR number 7 lifting the ban on domestic workers. Kaya in 2020, we deployed only 326. And in 2021, we deployed 13,923. Now, on
Oh.
February 8, 2023, the BMW issued advisory number 5, temporarily deferring action on applications of first-time agency hired domestic workers. This was signed by USEC Maria Antoinette Velasco Allones because apparently Secretary Ople was then abroad. And this was the result of the death of Julebi Ranara. Ito yung pinakahuling casualty, no? And on February 13, 2023, Secretary Toots Oble issued advisory number 6, reiterating and affirming advisory number 5. Kuwait is the number 2 top country of destination for domestic workers and number 3 for all categories. Okay? So, in 2018, it was reported that there were 620,000 domestic workers who were working in 90% of Kuwaiti households. So the country is very small, but it is deploying or it is hiring so many domestic workers, not only from the Philippines, but also from Sri Lanka, Nepal, and other countries. Okay. So, and then lately, apparently in retaliation for the suspension of the deployment of domestic workers only, no, to Kuwait, the Kuwaiti government retaliated by saying that no new entry visas would be issued to all kinds of Filipino workers, ano, except those who have already resident permits or ikamas. So that is the way things stand today. I understand that ASEC Felibay and some other officers of BMW, together with some officers of the DFA, and I understand even O Administrator,
Panay Ignacio.
your friend Arnel Ignacio, uh, are en route to Kuwait, if not they're already there,
Tonight.
no?
No, tonight they will leave. Yes.
uh,
I was
to
told.
discuss the strained, very strained relations now between Kuwait and the Philippines. That's it muna.
Okay. Muhammad, can you hear us now? Muhammad? Muhammad is making a sign that he cannot hear us now. Nag-in and out na siya actually, pero I do not know what happened. Suddenly, he cannot hear us. I do not know why. Let me see. Muhammad, can you hear us now? Hello, Muhammad. 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 Can you hear us now? What happened to you? Maybe he has to restart his phone. I'll
June,
tell him try to. Yes po.
With due respect, what he may be doing may be against Kuwaiti traffic law, because he is
He he's not he
driving
is
and
not he's not in Kuwait, he is in Manila po.
ganun ba? Oh?
Ah,
Ano yan? Parang ano yan driving, what they call it, distracted driving, ano? So,
oo.
what he should do is
Ah,
actually to stop and participate in the program on a
yes.
stationary basis, ano?
Oo. Uh, yes, I know that. He is actually in Manila. I think he is somewhere in Makati. Alam niyo dito sa Makati, ninanakaw yung kable namin eh. Kaya maraming mga sites na nagluloko rito dahil ninanakaw yung cables ng internet. Kaya maraming mga times na nagkakaroon ng signal interruption, even the cable TV interruptions. At one given time, 3 araw ko walang cable. Because ang sabi naman sa akin, sir, kasi inayos namin kable, may nagnakaw. Ah, yeah. I cannot hear, sabi niya. Yeah. Sabi ko sa kanya, restart your phone. Anyway, can't hear. I will log out in again. Okay.
Can hear now.
Now, can you hear now? Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, I didn't hear
Okay.
anything of what was mentioned. Give me about
Well,
15
no,
minutes. 15 minutes. I'll be in
actually,
the office. Maybe the streamline will be better.
yeah. No, actually, the what Attorney De Guzman mentioned is the history of how the market transpired, and the ups and downs of the deployment
Okay.
simply because of what happened. So, with something that you also already know, nothing that you do not know.
Yes,
Okay.
okay.
Anyway, back.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Okay, so considering the situation that the last part being there will be a delegation, and according to Attorney De Guzman here,
Yeah.
Assistant Secretary Feli Bay, if I'm not mistaken, including Yusek, the guy who went to Sudan, I forgot his name.
Mm.
Yusek, anong pangalan nun, Atty. De Guzman? Yung isang
Ano,
Yusek na
babae ba?
pumunta ng Sudan?
Babae?
Lalaki,
Yusek,
lalaki, lalaki.
ah, Yusek Kakdak or Yusek
Hindi,
Olalia.
hindi.
Is
Oh,
There
Yusek
are,
Olala,
Secretary
hindi.
Oakley going? Is
No.
Secretary Oakley going?
I don't think so. In fact, she is not even answering the mainstream media calls, and only this particular Yusek, not Kakdak, the other one, from the
there's no
Department
more.
of Migrant Workers. I forgot
But
his name.
there
I'm
are
very good.
only two male Yuseks. Yusek Hans and Yusek Bernard Olalia.
Baka,
The,
po ba? Yung iba po,
oh,
puro babae.
and there are
Baka
two female Yusek.
taga-DFA siguro to, taga-DFA.
Okay.
Baka yung taga-DFA.
Baka si Yusek
Are you
Vega.
sure? Are you sure Secretary Oakley is not going? Because ibalita ko na they are expecting the Honorable Secretary
Looking for it.
to be there.
Ganun ba? By the way, I do not know, but according to the guy who was talking sa TV kanina, yes, OWA Administrator Arnel will be there. Although I did not talk to him yet, I didn't bother to talk to him because every time he is traveling, he is very busy. So I don't want to bother him. Now, according to
Yeah.
you, Attorney De Guzman, Assistant Labor Secretary, yeah, the Assistant DMW Secretary Felibay is going. Now, initially, what I was told, Secretary Susan Toots Ople and Yusek PY or Patricia Kaunan is going. Hindi po ba yun?
Yeah,
That's what I heard from the grapevines. Attorney de Guzman.
I'm not sure about Attorney PY, but I'm sure about Attorney your Assistant Secretary Felibay. Because according to her secretary,
Lawyer,
she has to
lawyer
be.
din naman po yun eh.
Yeah.
Attorney Bay. Nawala na naman si, si Muhammad. Talagang di maganda signal niya. Pero going back to, going back, yan, now he's back again. Yeah, uh, that's not the point. Eh. And there's also this grapevine that we heard through the grapevine. Pala, this issue that we heard through the grapevine that allegedly there was a delegation who first came over from Kuwait,
Yeah.
which was not entertained by any of our officers ng DMW. I'm not saying it is called allegedly. So I do not know. When I check with the members of our clans, one of the officers there told me na she have not heard of such thing. And sabi ko, how can you not heard? Counterpart yung, may kasama pa nga yung counterpart ninyo na dumating dito eh. Kasama yung officer nga from Kuwait. And to have a meeting nga daw sana with the DMW, hindi raw hinarap. I do not know how true is that. We are still trying to verify. Problem is nobody in DMW wants to talk. In fact, as you can see, not even the Honorable Secretary herself is being interviewed on the air from morning till evening since yesterday. Well, since the ban or the order of the ban was already given by the government of Kuwait. Muhammad, from your end, no, you are the co-chairman of the Philippine Kuwait Business Council of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce, and of course a member of the Arab community. What have you been hearing about so far about the situation? Ano nadidinig mo, Muhammad? Yeah, Muhammad. Hindi na naman tayo natitinig ni Muhammad. Muhammad! Muhammad, we cannot hear you, Muhammad. Ya akhi, when inta? Hello. Naglolo ko na naman yung telepono ni Muhammad. Papangat kasi signal. Muhammad, 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 we cannot hear you. Anyway, mukhang naglolo ko naman. Let me message him again. Ano ba ito? Ito ang problema sa ano eh. Sa remote meeting. Sometimes it's good, most of the time it's not. Oh, oh. Muhammad, please speak up. Oh, nothing again. Oh. StreamYard is set to be go back again. One more time. Yeah, he went out again. Yeah. Can you hear us now? Hello? I think you better change your phone. Ang problema kasi, Atty. Guzman, yung telepono niya is iPhone. The problem is StreamYard does not work on Mac iOS. No, no. Okay. Can you hear us now?
Yeah,
Now.
yeah. I'm
Yeah,
5
okay.
minutes away from the office. I think it will be steady there. So I will keep on
Well,
until I
anyway,
reach the office.
while we are waiting for the 5 minutes and you can talk,
Yeah,
can you give us some from your end, being the co-chairman of the Philippine Kuwait Chamber of Commerce,
yeah.
what can
I am.
you say
Yeah.
about the situation right now? Can we have your opinion
Actually,
of the situation?
actually, the reason I asked if the secretary was going or not, because she is so important. The issue is very hard now, and she is so important. And to be honest, the secretary did really a very, very, very good job with the problem of Saudi Arabia, as you remember. She
Mm,
went there, and thanks God, with the help of her, she is
Thank you,
understanding
Big.
for everything. She understands our
okay.
situation. She understands the situation of the host country. She did a very
Mm-hmm.
good job in Saudi Arabia. She was able
Okay.
to mend the differences between the two countries, between our country and Saudi Arabia. And she came up with a good deal for us. And Saudi Arabia opened, and everybody was very happy. I am
Okay.
sure
Yes.
100%, and I put my trust in the Secretary's Ople that she will be able again to mend the relation. Kuwaiti government love the Philippines, you know,
Yes.
and and I don't think they want to lose the Philippines, you know. But there are some issues between them and us. Of course, Secretary Opley, her main concern, which I really appreciate and I really applaud her for that, her main concern is the welfare of our OFW and the safety of
Mm,
our OFW and the rights of our OFW. At the same
mm,
time, she also understands that the host country has rights also, and
mm.
this is what happened in Saudi Arabia. She was able to understand both parties and come up with a deal with the Saudi counterpart, and everything was solved smoothly, as you can see, right? Now, the
Okay.
same problem I think happened with Kuwait. There are some issues that we want to protect our OFW's right, which is we
Mm-hmm.
agree all on that, and I support Secretary Oakley and all her concerns. And of course, as a
Mm-hmm.
citizen here, I have to push for my countrymen to be protected, the rights to be protected, everything
Oh,
to keep them
oh.
away of harm way. And I
Yeah.
think Secretary Oakley will be able to solve that issue this time with the Kuwaiti government. Now,
Mm-hmm.
the problem is big. I mean, nobody can say that the problem is not big. The reaction of the Kuwaiti government barring entry of all Filipinos suddenly, it was really harsh on us, right? And
Mm, yes, yes.
everybody was shocked by this reaction. Uh, if you follow, I follow the social media in Kuwait. I don't know if you follow the social media.
Not personally,
Anyone
not
follows
much.
the
Yes.
social media? Okay,
No, no.
the
Actually,
social media
unless it is
in
given to me,
Kuwait,
no, I do not.
if
To be honest,
you
please
follow
enlighten
them,
us and he disappeared again. Okay. Wala pa ba yung anak mo, Atty. Francis, para maayos na yung video mo? Sayang naman. Eh, Atty. Francis, nag-mute si Atty. Francis. Anyway, bagay malapit naman na sa opisina si Kwan,
Ano
si
ang
Muhammad Farah.
nakalagay dito,
Yeah.
ah, camera and microphone allowed. Continue allowing StreamYard to access your camera and microphone. So, naka-pindot yun.
Okay.
Tapos, yung camera is hyperlink UCAM number 9. But, walang ano eh.
Punta ka sa settings kaya. Punta kaya sa settings.
Settings.
Tapos yun, check mo yung camera at yung audio. Tingnan mo kung ano yung nakalagay.
Well, the audio is working, ano?
Pero ilagay mo yung settings doon sa ano mo. Okay, now here's our Muhammad again. Are you okay? You're back. Okay.
Yeah.
So you were saying the social media, yes?
Yeah,
we lost you.
Now, so the reception.
Yeah, we'll give you 1 or 2 minutes so the signal will be stable.
Yeah, the social media, Raul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. 5 minutes only. Give me 5 minutes.
Okay. No problem. Anyway, nasa office na siya. Attorney Guzman, check nyo doon sa settings sa Attorney Guzman. Di ba dati naman, wala naman tayong problema ganito this is the first time this happened. Na-check mo na yung camera at saka yung audio?
Before it was
Hello?
Made,
yeah.
Audio is working, you can hear me, di ba?
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Just the
5x5.
Yeah.
Okay. So Muhammad, you're coming in very clear now, but you stopped. I think something happened to your signal again. Hello. I think you have to move from one internet connection to another. So bakit kaya nagkagano? No? Dati naman ilang beses na tayong StreamYard. Ngayon lang ito nangyari. Anyway, here's Muhammad again. Are you there now, Muhammad? Are you okay now, Muhammad? Muhammad? Muhammad. Nawala. Siguro papasok muna siya sa wifi ng kanyang opisina bago kuhan. Ba't kaya ano kaya nangyari dyan, attorney, no? Ngayon na nangyari yan. Dati-dati naman wala tayong problema ganyan.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Kasi kung hindi lumalabas
Okay. Yeah, we can hear you, Muhammad, very clear.
Okay.
Yeah, please continue the social media part.
Yeah, if you follow the social media in Kuwait, the Kuwaitis are in favor of their government decision and they are supporting the move for many reasons. Maybe, of course, that's their concern. Now,
that's their prerogative. Yes.
Yeah. Now, our concern here is also to support our government, to support our secretary, to support our DMU in our demands. But at the same time, of course, we have to understand the needs of the host country. It's a two-way solution. And I trust Secretary Obli will be able to find the solution. Of course, we have to understand that, when we send OFWs abroad, not all of them, not 100% will be happy. I mean, we should always expect let's say 5% problems out of 100. And those 5%, to be fair and honest, not all of them are coming from the employer. There are some problems that comes from our own OFW, right?
Of course, yes. We have that in increasing numbers, yes.
Yeah, well, but we have to understand that, that there are circumstances that really our OFW is at fault. Of course, because they are our OFW and they are co-citizens.
And they are our fellow citizens, yes.
Yeah, we have to protect them in any way, defend them in any way, which the government thankfully is doing, the KMW secretary is doing thankfully, like what happened in UAE last month. So I think the Kuwait issue, it's a little bit harsher and harder now than what happened in Saudi Arabia because the ban is total. No, Kuwait government stopped issuing the visas for Filipinos already. Kuwait government,
Mhm.
even if you have a visa, you cannot stamp it from the embassy anymore. Even
Mhm.
if you have a visa and you travel, I think it will be the passengers will be turned back. And this is really, I find it very harsh on us. I don't understand
Mhm.
that reaction, but I find it really very harsh on us. I mean, it's like a way of unfairness. But you don't know their reasons. We really don't know their reasons yet and why they took that step or the harsh step against us. Maybe
Mhm.
when the delegation arrives on the 16th and Secretary Oakley, hopefully, I pray that she will be among the delegation. Uh, I am sure 100% we trust her, and I am sure 100% that she will be able to find a way and mend the relations again because I guarantee you, Kuwaitis love Filipinos and they really want to what do you call that to host our OFW. And we have to put also in consideration, I don't know if the private sector knows it here or Ethiopia already opened. Ethiopia started sending their OFW from Ethiopia to Saudi Arabia, to Kuwait, to Jordan, and to most of the Arab countries. Now, shall I tell
Okay.
you about the advantages and the disadvantages? Do you want me to
Well,
continue or you want to
it,
open it
it is
another
it is
topic?
well you have you it is and as a Filipino citizen you have the right to speak, of course. We have given
Okay,
you the floor. Come on,
okay,
please proceed.
okay. Now, of course, the private sectors here and also the government here, we would like to send as many OFWs as we can, right? This is the business of the private sector. This is the aim of the MW to send OFWs abroad and protect them and find them a good environment place. Now, the opening of Ethiopia, the disadvantages is that Ethiopia took a chunk of the Philippine market. Okay, now maybe Ethiopian OFWs do not speak English as fluent as Filipinos. This is number
But
one
many of them
advantage.
speak Arabic.
Exactly. Most of them are ex abroad and most of them speak Arabic. They are ex Lebanon, they are
Yes.
ex, and they speak
I
Arabic.
I, 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 I used to work way back in 1980s and someone from Ethiopia
Yeah,
who can speak very good Arabic.
exactly. So the English advantage for us is being wiped out by the Arabic speaking OFWs, right? Number two,
Yes,
the
yes.
salary of the Ethiopian OFW is $250. The salary of our OFW is $400, right?
Yes.
Now, the cost of sending an OFW from Manila is 3,300, $3,200. This is what the agency charge here, 2,800 to around $3,000 or whatever. The cost of OFW from Ethiopia is $1,000.
Well, Ethiopia, as we know, is very near to Kuwait than
Exactly.
Manila.
But this is
Yes, yes.
also taking a chunk of the market of the OFW. Now, our advantage is that we speak English very well. Our manners are really nice compared to others. Our OFWs are polite, well educated, well experienced, right? So, this is our
Mm-hmm.
advantage. The only thing that we have to solve now is really the difference between or the concerns of the Kuwaiti government, and of course, we have to put in mind and protect our OFW at the same time. I still trust Secretary Oakley to do a well good job as she did in Saudi Arabia and find a common way to solve these issues. Up to now, I really don't know. I tried to talk to some Kuwaiti citizen owners of agencies or Kuwaiti embassy officials of why this happened. What's the reason behind it? And nobody is giving a clear reason of why this decision came.
I see. Did you hear about this delegation that came here from? Have you heard
Yes,
about this?
yes.
And
I met some of them actually.
really? So are
Yes,
they really officials from the Kuwaiti government?
like the PASE here. They are the Association of PRAs, FRAs. You know,
FRAs,
recruitment.
yes.
Yes, they are.
Ah,
The
okay.
head of the association was here, and there are three guys with him, and there is one guy from the Ministry of Labor, and they came
Ah,
here.
so there's one government official actually
I don't know if he
who
was
must be
officially
the group.
sent by the government or sumama lang siya.
Ah, I see, I see.
So I don't know. But
And
you, yeah.
and
But
then, and then did they
the head
ask
of
for
the
an
association was
audience?
here.
Yeah, but did they ask for an audience with the Department of Migrant Workers?
I think they met with some. They did not mention the names, and I asked them about the situation. What do you think? They said they just made an exclamation that parang they are not happy.
Ah,
So
okay,
I said,
okay.
anyway, these are not
So,
official people, so
oo.
you cannot count on their decisions anyway.
Oo naman, oo naman.
Yeah,
So there was although one official maybe siguro tangay lang or sumama lang as you said, but then again uh, still whether sumama lang whether he just tag along or not, he is still from the Ministry of Labor of Kuwait, and when he still
yeah,
holds a
but
position.
but you cannot verify that officially, Rahul.
Ah, okay,
He
okay.
can say that he is or she is or whatever, but to
Anybody,
verify that
anybody
is
can
really
say that.
difficult, right? So we
Oo.
cannot we cannot verify that.
In fairness, in
But
fairness.
I am sure about
Okay.
the association, the president of the Association of Kuwait offices. Yes, he was here, and I think maybe he was following his work or whatever because he's an owner of agency in Kuwait, maybe dealing with local agencies here. So maybe he came to follow up that.
Okay. Can I cut you from there, Muhammad? I hope you don't mind.
Yes,
Did they meet with their counterpart association here, the CLADs?
I think they met some agency owners here because I met
But
them
not the
over dinner.
association itself officially, because
I
the
I
vice
don't.
chairman, some officials I talked to, no, she said that's not true. I didn't meet anybody from
Maybe they
Kuwait.
did not meet some agency officials from the PASE or something. Maybe they just went to their counterpart here.
CLADS is the one handling the association for household workers. Is the umbrella organization of different countries, Kuwait being one. At least they could have talked with the. I have not talked to the PILAC, the Association for Kuwait. I have not talked to the chairman yet.
I don't
I
know who is the
tried to, but
chairman of the Kuwait Association.
now it's Telma Wana.
Ah, okay.
Telma Wana. But that's immaterial now, because tonight there will be some delegations coming from the Philippines who will officially go to Kuwait, going to to talk to them. But
Yeah.
as I do not know if you have also noticed, since the order came down from was released by the officially by the Kuwaiti government, I have not seen any except Yusek Hans, no, except Yusek Hans, that the secretary has never appeared in any interview. I have not heard, and I've been monitoring of course, the mainstream media. I have been remiss of some channels that I have no access from, but But like I said, I am monitoring the situation from this end, and good
Yeah.
that because being the co-chairman of the Philippine Kuwait Chamber of Commerce of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I mean, eventually you are also good that you are monitoring from the Kuwaiti end as well.
Yes.
And that's good. And we are complementing each other. How
But I
about you,
am.
Atty. Guzman? Have you been hearing anything from your end, Atty. Guzman? I hear the problem with Atty. Guzman
Yes,
is his
Jude.
video. Yeah, yeah. Have you been hearing anything from your end about what is going on as far as both sides? Any news from both sides? Apart from what you have just said
Well,
that there will be a delegation leaving tonight.
according to one source, the Kuwaiti government uh, has reasoned that the Philippine government committed violations of the agreement of the 2018 agreement. You know? But I don't know which particular provisions, if true, no, the
Mm.
Kuwaiti government is referring to. There are 11 responsibilities of the Philippines under that 2018 agreement. May I uh,
Please enumerate
enumerate
them.
them, ano, for the record?
Yes.
Okay. Number one, ensure that the arriving domestic workers meet the medical requirements imposed by the first party and are devoid of all
Okay.
infectious or transferable diseases through accurate and thorough medical examinations. Number two,
Okay.
ensure to provide law enforcement clearance of the domestic worker issued by competent authorities in the Philippines, which indicates the domestic worker has no criminal record as well as his or her good behavior. Number three, require
Oh.
that the Philippine Recruitment Agency shall not charge or deduct from the salary of the domestic helper any costs attended to her recruitment and deployment or impose any kind of unauthorized salary deductions. Number
Mm-hmm.
four, ensure the contracting parties the right of recourse to competent authorities in case of contractual disputes in accordance with the applicable laws, rules, and regulations of both parties. Number five,
Mm-hmm.
ensure the prospective domestic workers are trained and certified on housework in specialized institutes rather, and have received orientation on Kuwaiti laws, customs and traditions, and the terms and conditions of the employment contract. Number
Mm-hmm.
six, require recruited domestic workers to observe Kuwaiti laws, morals, ethics, and customs while residing in Kuwait. Number
Mm-hmm.
seven, the Philippine Embassy in Kuwait through the Philippine Overseas Labor Office shall verify all standard contracts assigned or signed by the parties. Number eight,
Mm-hmm.
ensure that the recruitment and employment of newly hired domestic workers shall be through recruitment offices or agencies that are licensed by the respective governments. Number nine,
Mm-hmm.
ensure to employ only domestic workers within allowable age in possession of appropriate skill certification and have completed the necessary pre-departure orientation seminars in accordance with existing laws, rules, and regulations of the second party. Number 10,
Mm-hmm.
ensure the success or ensure the access of domestic workers to legal assistance from concerned offices of the second party as may be necessary and practicable. And last but not least, impose sanctions on erring Philippine recruitment agencies for committing recruitment violations. So I don't know which of these provisions uh, has the Philippine government supposedly violated. If the report that I mentioned is true, no? That the Kuwaiti government is citing as ground for
Yes.
the
Yes. I heard
for
it. I
their
heard it this morning as well.
retaliatory
Yeah. It was repeated by
allegations of
Yusek.
this.
It was reiterated by Yusek Hans over
Kakdak.
one's radio station, Hans Kakdak, that the Kuwaiti government is insisting that the Philippine government violated some of the provisions of the 2018 labor bilateral agreement. Uh,
Isn't it?
and then
Isn't it?
when they asked that they were not given specifically which of those were violated.
Mm.
So, if I am not mistaken, correct me if I am wrong, Attorney de Guzman, is that bilateral agreement is still in force? I thought that is already
Expired.
expired and we need to renew it. I remember you
No,
mentioning
what
one
the
time in one of my
agreement provides,
programs. Mhm. Please, please. Sorry, you have the floor. Sorry. Pardon my
the
interrupt.
2018 the 2018 bilateral labor agreement provides this agreement shall remain in force in effect for a period of 4 years and shall be renewed automatically
Mm.
unless either party notifies in writing or through the
Okay.
Okay.
diplomatic channels of its
Okay.
desire to terminate or suspend this agreement 6 months
Mm.
prior to the ending of its validity. Now,
Mm.
this was signed on May 11, 2018. So it
Mm.
would have
Oh,
expired on May 11,
Last year.
2022, but
Yeah.
it was supposed to be renewed automatically. So for
the next
another
day. Yes.
4 years,
Mm.
4 years. Yes.
unless either party notifies in writing its desire to terminate or suspend the agreement
Okay.
six
Okay.
months prior to the ending of its validity.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
since the Philippine,
So it is in
sorry, not
effect.
the
It
Philippine,
is in effect.
since none of the parties signing signatory parties have expressed or did anything expressed in writing 6 months prior to the expiration, in effect pa rin yung bilateral agreement na yan automatically.
Yes.
Do I read you correct?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
So that having said that, ako ang nakikita kong I do not know ha. Of course, I am no I do not want to sound like an expert here. But hindi naman kaya this is in retaliation for the non-deployment of the new hires going to Kuwait, considering that that is the huge chunk of the deployment. And based on what I heard this morning, after the guy, parang ASEC po yung nagsalita pala from DMW. Not ano, pero lalaki din. Again, siya nga yung pumunta sa ano sa Sudan eh. I know he went to Sudan eh. Anyway, he's a main, and then he said na he was the one who said na hiningi nga namin eh, ano ba ang violation namin? At hindi na raw sumagot ang Kuwaiti counterpart nila. That being said, and I think he's part no, he did mention that he is part of the delegation going to Kuwait along with the O Administrator Arnel Ignacio. He did not mention about Yusek Hans or Yusek Bernard going to Kuwait. Now, earlier on, I heard from some source nga na it is the secretary herself and Yusek PY Kaunan who will be going to Kwan. Wala pa itong bagong sinabi mo ha. This was like 2 or 3 days ago. And then, yun na nga, prior to that nga, yun nga, yung may delegation na pumunta rito, medyo hindi hinarap. Siyempre, siguro nagsumbong sa government nila, hindi naman kami pinansin, pupunta kami doon para ayusin. Kasi, I think, this is how I see it, ha. I think Kuwait would want to resolve this very quietly.
Yes.
Sana.
Yes.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Muhammad.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
the Arabs. I live in Saudi Arabia for 10 years. As much as possible, if you have problems with them, let's not bring it outside the house. Let's talk it here inside the house, silently. And let's not allow our neighbors to see that we are fighting. Okay? So let's talk about it. And if we can resolve it na without the media, without the public knowing it, solve. Ang problema siguro, okay, mauna muna kayo. And then when they came here, nobody entertained them. So they went back. Ayaw kami pansinin eh. Kayo na lang gumawa ng paraan. Ayaw eh. So,
No,
ito siguro yung tali.
I
Yeah.
don't think, Raul, this is the reason, because this
Okay. Go.
delegation who came here are owners of agency associations, so they are not officially represented or sanctioned by the Kuwait government. But the main
Yeah.
reason, as the Kuwait government stated, as Attorney Guzman said, violation of some provisions, we still don't know even what provision was violated, right?
Yes.
So I
Habibi,
think,
the reason
I
why I
think,
mentioned that, yeah, if
yeah,
you don't mind, if I may
yeah,
interject, no, ha?
yeah, yeah,
When I was still the president of the other associations during that time,
yeah,
Taiwan, Japan, the chairman of Japan,
yeah,
part of the and Cyprus like that. Most of the problems I am voluntarily going, of course, with the no, with the approval of POEA, no, with the
yeah.
blessings of POEA na ako na lang pupunta doon para ayusin yan, para hindi na kayo gumastos. And actually, we really do go to Taiwan. In fact, Atty. De Guzman, you are eventually a part of this when we try to solve the brokers' existence problem of Taiwan, di ba? That time, they were about to close the market of Taiwan to the Philippines because our government is saying, no, we do not recognize intermediaries. We only deal directly with the employers. So Taiwan was a little bit pissed off here because we are already doing it. One, we are already doing it with Japan, and number two, it is in their law. And the hiring system of Taiwan is pretty much like us when we are hiring the talents of Japan. It always go through the intermediary. Now,
Yeah.
that being said, Attorney Guzman, you are party of this when we created some justifications to the Philippine government along with CBCP when the Philippine government finally recognized the uh, the official representation of the intermediaries or the brokers or FRAs. Kaya nabuo yung foreign recruitment agencies because of Taiwan. And then we went to Taiwan without anybody from the Philippine government and signed a MOA with our counterpart agency there na listing the what you call this, listing the code of conduct, and then we submitted it to the government, and then they accepted it. Now again, I'm just saying, this is just me talking and from my experience. Now
Mm.
balik tayo sa balik tayo sa Kuwait, no, ha? I think I'm not saying you are wrong, my dear friend Muhammad, no, ha? My dear kababayan, because you're already a Filipino. But my point is, I think the private sector has a good chance or way of resolving this matter quietly sana. And
Yes.
I guess again, this is just me talking. I would assume that the government wanted it ayaw nila ng ganun. Gusto nila, they want to talk to the right people, which is government to government na nga. I think this is what I'm reading in between the lines. This is what they wanted. Sayang ang panahon. No? We could have resolved the problem quietly had they entertained or accepted the presence of the delegation who came here, whether they are from the private or from the Kuwaiti government. Can you imagine, may kasama pa nga sila from the what? Whether totoo yun
I
or
don't know
hindi,
if it is
that's not the
true.
point. Oh yeah, but whether that is true or not, this is not the point. The point is the Kuwaiti side, the private sector is doing their part in trying to help resolve the matter in the most amicable and silent manner. Para hindi na masyadong lumaki yung sunog, yung issue. Para
Maybe.
gano'n. Yeah. Anyway, I will allow you now to react on what I have just said, please.
Yeah, I understand all what you said, Raul. But even if those owners of the
But
agencies
June,
or the head of the association
si
arrived
Mauna na
here
si ano.
and he
Si
tried to
Muhammad
talk to
Bonapog.
some people, it was not official. You know, of course, they, as associations here in the Philippines, they have a say, right, in the market, and they have also an opinion to be heard by our local DMW. The same thing, I think, in Kuwait. They are the head
That's the
of the
point.
association in Kuwait, and of
Correct.
course,
Correct.
their opinion will be heard from the government of
Of
Kuwait, right?
course. Exactly what
So
I said. Yes.
yes, so maybe this somehow reflects a bad. I don't know
Yes.
what to
No.
call it.
Maybe it could have been part of the immediate reaction coming from the Kuwaiti government. Attorney De Guzman, you want to say something? You have the floor.
Okay. I think we must not forget what triggered the uh, act of the Philippine government in deferring action on the contracts of first-time agency had domestic workers. Ano? Remember
Correct.
in 2018, somebody died. Okay? And the
Correct. The
solution
mga Pinis.
was, okay, let's have an agreement
Well, the couple was caught
on
and
the employment of
sentenced.
domestic workers.
Yes.
Ah, okay, and then in 2020, somebody again died. Okay, and
Oh.
the solution was to come up with a approved harmonized employment contract for domestic workers. That was in 2020. In 2023, somebody again died. Okay, so
Yes.
that's where we are now. Now, if you will look uh, at the advisory number 5
The,
series of 2023,
mm-hmm.
the DMW issued that advisory, and I'm going to quote, ano, in order to
Please.
strengthen the protection of the rights of overseas Filipino workers in Kuwait, particularly workers who are most vulnerable to abuse and exploitation. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It also stated it is the consideration of the department to ensure the safety and well-being of workers with vulnerable occupations, particularly first-time domestic workers, and that they are properly and promptly protected while deployed at the job site. The third
Mm-hmm.
paragraph states, this measure is being undertaken in order to further ensure that the proper monitoring and reporting mechanisms are strengthened and that a more
Mm-hmm.
efficient response system is established in Kuwait, especially in OFW welfare cases. Okay, you will remember that there was a Senate investigation on this
Yes, there
matter,
was.
and
Yes.
Senator Tulfo was egging the Department of Migrant Workers. Why don't you impose a deployment ban? No? I think it was in tandem with Senator Joel Villanueva. No?
Yes.
So
Yes.
they
I
were
heard that.
egging the department, do this, do this, do this. You know? And even while the Secretary Toots of Blair was abroad, apparently, the DMW was forced to issue this advisory, which, upon arrival of Secretary Toots, she affirmed. No? because they were under pressure here, particularly from the Senate. So, in other words, uh, this was triggered, all three bans were triggered in 2018, 2020, and 2023 by the deaths of uh, domestic workers at the hands
Three
of their
domestic workers.
employers.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So the solution must be uh, attuned to those problems. Ano? In other words, how can we ensure that the domestic workers
Will
will be
not,
protected and
yes,
that
yes.
they will not,
Yeah.
no Filipino
Uh,
will again
will
die
die again.
at the hands of their.
Oh, the problem is workers are dying. I think you are correct there. You are very correct there, Attorney Guzman. Tama yung assessment mo. I agree. Mga kapit-bahay OFW natin,
Kasi
station break
yun,
lang tayo ng
if I may
sandali
add
lang.
yun, ano,
Sorry,
yun,
sorry, go ahead, sorry.
if I may add, we are very strict in ensuring that the domestic workers we deployed abroad are competent and qualified. You know? So they get NBI clearances, they take they test the NC2, they undergo PDOS, undergo the comprehensive education program for conducted by the OWA. In other words,
Mm.
we adequately prepare our workers for going abroad. Okay, the problem is not there. The problem is what the employers do, no? And I think in this regard, we may be remiss in vetting the employers of our domestic workers. Ano? If I recall, there were reports, this was in Saudi, that for instance, the employment contracts that are supposed to be signed by the Saudi employers were not being signed by them, but were being signed by the FRAs. No? In
Yeah.
other
Oh.
words, and then the Saudi employer would say, I cannot be bound by that contract. I did not sign that. No?
Mm.
So in other words, and yet the labor office continues to stamp because of sheer number without facing the employer himself, without seeing the employer. So it just goes to the mechanical procedure of affixing the verification stamp. There is no sincere and thorough vetting of the foreign employers of domestic workers. I think all we ask is, all we do is check is, are they financially capable? Do they have their national ID? Ano?
Mm.
I don't know what the host governments do to ensure that the employers of foreign domestic workers are also capable
Qualified.
or are also
Capable.
competent.
Yeah.
In the case of Singapore, they conduct orientation for the foreign employers who wish to employ domestic workers before they are allowed to hire foreign domestic workers. That is
True.
not being done in the other countries. Okay, so
No.
my point is that perhaps we should exert, or the host government, including Kuwait, should exert more effort in ensuring that only those Kuwaitis who are qualified to hire domestic workers, foreign domestic helpers, would be allowed to do so. It cannot just be because they have the money to pay for the service fee of the FRA. Okay?
Mhm.
So in other words, there should be an honest to goodness orientation of these
Employers as well.
foreign employers, including interviewing them
Prior,
really. Because I think what is
Attorney
happening is
Guzman,
that for as long as the employer is willing to pay,
my question
is willing to
is
pay
that
the
orientation
FRA.
in Singapore prior to their applying for the visa to get a worker or after?
Yes, yes. That is a requirement of the
Okay.
Ministry of Manpower.
So prior
And you
to
remember in
the
Singapore,
applying, Oo. Prior to to applying for the
And
visa, hindi after.
no. It
Do
has
I
to
read
be
it well?
before. Okay, and the Singapore government checks the track record of the employer. If it finds out that this employer has been, dismissing domestic workers every now and then, it refuses to issue new work permits for these employers. Okay.
Mm,
In our case,
yeah.
there are already blacklisted foreign employers of domestic helpers, but they get around this by employing the relatives as
Yes,
employers, to get
that's
around
true.
the prohibition. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah. My dear Muhammad, you want to react on that?
Yeah.
Manager Stan is going to join us any moment.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
what Attorney de Guzman said was 100% true. In Singapore, they really follow that strict rules. The only problem is in the Middle East, they base the qualification as Attorney de Guzman on financial aspect only, and that is true. Whoever applies for a visa, he should present a minimum income of, let's say, 10,000 riyal or 15,000 riyal a month, like what do you call that? A salary certificate that his salary is 15,000 riyal and above, and he is capable of financially supporting the OFW. This is what Attorney Goodman said is really true. Now, I don't think that there should be a way of also. I mean, when the employer is blacklisted, Attorney De Guzman said also that they go around this rule by applying the visa under relatives, cousins, I don't know,
You disappeared again, Muhammad.
Wala.
Something is. Yeah, yeah,
I'm
he's back.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I don't
Yeah.
know how the I don't think the Middle East can implement that rule like what Attorney Guzman said about Singapore that is doing. Uh, so I really I find it difficult for this rule to be implemented soon. For the Ministry of Labor or the host government will be able or to have time to check the round of
Or to
the history of
adjust,
the
yes.
applier and so on and so on and so on. I don't think it will be possible soon, but I am sure 100%. I'm still optimistic about the problem of Kuwait. I trust Secretary Oakley 1 million times that she will be able to find a way. What do you call that? To find a way to find to mend the differences between the two governments and reopen. I am also Kuwaitis of what I hear of with the people I talk. They really want to for the problem to be solved. They don't want this, stoppage. Nobody wants that. We don't want that. The private sector here do not want that. The private sector in
Mhm.
Kuwait do not want that. I am sure also the government of Kuwait do not want that because they really love the Philippines and the relation is really good. It only happened sadly of the death of these OFWs, and hopefully a way can be found. You know, uh, I'm sure once they talk face to face, not over the media or blah 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 or once they talk, once the secretary is there and she has face to face meeting with the officials of Kuwait, I am sure Secretary Oakley will be able to find a solution for this problem.
Mhm. Okay. Attorney Guzman, you want to say something about that? You want to react to that? At- Attorney Guzman? Hello, Attorney Guzman?
Okay.
Hello?
Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know if I got Muhammad sentiments correctly, but I think what he was trying to say is that Secretary Ople herself personally should be the one to go to Kuwait. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Muhammad?
No, 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 no. With all due respect for all the delegation who is going there, of course, we trust them all that they are serving the Filipino citizens and serving the OFW and taking care of their concern, whether it is Yusek Hans Leo Kardak or Yusek Ulalia. All of them are doing a great job, all of them, and I really appreciate their understanding of the situation. But I heard that Secretary Oakley is the one going, and from my opinion, this is me speaking. She did a very good job in Saudi Arabia in solving the stalemate in Saudi Arabia. You know, she went there for about 3 to 4 days, as I remember, and before she left, everything was solved. So she is capable, I think, of understanding both sides, not only her, but of course all the other side. But when the secretary goes there in Tagalog, how do we say it? Iba ang dating, you know. So we will show that we really care about them and we really care about our relation. We really to solve the problem and we want to open the situation and bring back relations and send to Abdullah like before. Of course, I'm not underestimating the efforts of Hans Leo Kaddak or Yusek Olaila. They are really doing very, very great job also in their respective positions, you know. So I don't mean
Yeah,
anything in
yeah.
person, but what I mean to say is Secretary Oakley, I am sure she is the decision maker as secretary, right? So she can make the decision immediately while she is there. You got my point.
Yeah, yeah. Very, very clear,
You,
very clear. It's just
yeah,
that
let's
here is
say,
my worry nga. Yeah, here is
yeah,
my worry, my dear Abu Rami. Here
yeah.
is my worry.
What's your worry?
From the moment the ban was issued,
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
uh, she has not she has not been appearing in any of the interviews to discuss the matter. I no no man, let me rephrase that. I have not seen her. Usually she does it. Now she is allowing her people to do the explaining, which I'm not saying. I hope nothing is wrong with her. Of course, no. I mean,
Yeah, she might
we
have some
both.
personal reasons, Raul. I mean, we don't
Yeah,
disbelieve.
that's the point. I hope
Yeah.
she is well, health wise, and all. Probably because we know that she's been from Sudan. Then she went straight
Yes.
to the U.S.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
when she came home, I mean, it was a gruesome, grueling endeavor to travel. And I
Yes.
myself, I hate traveling, long distance like that. From Sudan to Cairo, then to the U.S., and then back to the Philippines, and then of course she has to do a lot of meetings. All I'm saying is I am just worried that I'm not saying she is not, though I totally agree with you. The iba ang dating,
Yeah.
if she will represent the
Yeah.
country to talk
Yeah.
to the minister there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will be a violation of protocol if we will just
Maybe.
send an undersecretary.
With all
However,
with all with all
however,
with Mr. Raul, with
yeah,
all
yeah, you
due
were saying,
respect, of course, to them.
oh, with all due respect to them. But
Yeah.
Attorney Guzman, here is my million-dollar question. And I hope I'm just assuming lang naman. What if Secretary Toots cannot physically go for health reasons, no,
Well,
to
well,
Kuwait?
the reason is there, Mr. Raul. Of course, they will say that she has reasons or whatever, and I am sure, in the end, a delegation from the Philippines, whether it is represented by the Honorable Secretary herself or by Honorable Yusek Hans Leo Kaddak, the move that the delegation is leaving here to Kuwait to solve the problem is enough notice that we really care about the relations between Kuwait and Philippines. You got my point? Can you hear
I
me?
got your point very well. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
us us going there to solve the problem is a sign of, we are showing care, that we really care about the relations. We really want to solve the problem. We really to find we want to find solutions. That's the main point. The delegation going there is a very good move on our part. I hope they can, find a way to solve the problems. And I hope Secretary also Oakley is in good health and she is fine and she is okay after her, hectic schedule going, as you said, from Sudan here and here and here. She must be really
Mm-hmm.
over fatigued and tired by now of doing that.
Okay, Attorney Guzman, any thoughts? Manny Gislani, by the way, is trying to get in.
Okay.
Uh, any thoughts, Attorney Guzman?
Yes, sure.
Mga pili at natatanging impormasyon mula sa himpilang DWRB News FM. Ikaw ang una. Ikaw ang una.
Pwede na?
Yan, okay na
Advertisement
po.
muna.
Actually, magta-time check lang sana ako ng
Okay.
3:45. But yeah, go ahead, sir. You have the floor.
Oh, I think short of stopping altogether the deployment of domestic workers abroad, what should be done in order to prevent, if not reduce, the deaths, injuries, illness, maltreatment, exploitation of our domestic workers? I think our government wants to continue deploying workers, even domestic workers abroad.
Yes.
No? Although it is not supposed to be an official policy of our government, okay? Because we cannot provide employment opportunities for them here. But the question is, short of stopping them from going abroad, which is practically impossible because they can go abroad through other channels, undocumented, as tourists, etc. What should the host governments do in order to, as I said, prevent the deaths, injuries, disability, illnesses, exploitation, sexual abuse, maltreatment of our domestic workers? I think the question is actually, or the ball is in the court of the foreign governments, not with the Philippines, because we have done our share, as I mentioned earlier. We have, we make our domestic workers go through a lot of vetting before we deploy them abroad.
Yeah.
So the burden, I think, is on the part of the host governments to come up with steps, mechanisms, in order to prevent these incidents, which trigger bans on the deployment of domestic workers.
So talagang yun ang kwan.
That's it.
I just hope na the delegation will do its part. In fact, if I am not mistaken, OWA administrator is well loved in that country. OWA administrator
Yes. Yes. Arnel Ignacio.
Arnel Ignacio, because
Yes.
he knows how to talk to the ministers there, no, and the government there. In fact,
May
he was
may I
able
ask?
to. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Is the white list, black list scheme that was implemented in Saudi Arabia, is it implemented in Kuwait
I do not
or
know.
not?
Attorney Dixuman, can you answer that, please? I have because I have not been in touch with the. Can you answer that question, please, Attorney Guzman? Nakamute ka po. Please unmute, Attorney Guzman.
What the
Yes.
BMW recently done is to come up with a system of whitelisting of
Yes,
foreign
Yes.
recruitment agencies and employers
yes,
in Saudi Arabia only.
yeah. So in
Okay.
Kuwait it is not.
Uh, but I don't know if
Kuwait.
they plan to expand this to other countries like Kuwait.
Well,
But
I
right
think
now, it
by
is
the
only for
situation that
Saudi
is
Arabia.
happening now, why don't our government extend if this system succeeded in Saudi Arabia and the results are better than before? Why I think the our government should look into implementing that system again into Kuwait and make the white list for responsible agencies to be in the white list, and those FRAs who are not really responsible or what you mentioned, they sign on behalf of the employer, can be removed to the blacklist and banned from hiring HSWs from the Philippines. What do you think,
Uh,
Attorney?
Attorney Guzman, any reaction to that before I say something?
That can be an option. Ano? Although I
Yes.
personally believe that the whitelisting process now being done by the uh, BMW is, with all due respect, insufficient, you know,
I was
to
about
Insufficient?
vet
to say
the
that.
foreign
Yes.
recruitment agencies and the employers.
Insufficient or sufficient?
Yes. Insufficient. Not sufficient.
Insufficient.
Okay,
Not
okay.
no, not sufficient. And actually, that is exactly what I was about to say. Many members of the private sector are
Mm.
also complaining that this whitelist, although they were the ones who suggested this to DMW, is actually backfired at them because what DMW did for only one case immediately the processing is suspended. So it backfired on them, and then it became a it became more of a problem than a solution. This is according to the private sector of according to CLADs, members of CLADs who are deploying to Saudi Arabia. So Muhammad, I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hello?
well, yeah, like I said,
Yeah.
that's what I am trying uh, trying to say now.
So you mean to say the white list, black list is insufficient
Mm,
according to the private sector here?
mm, yes, it's insufficient
Then,
accordingly.
then we have to look
Yeah,
for a way. I mean, we have to keep on looking for solution to, you know, to really protect the OFWs and at the same time make the Kuwaitis also, happy and accept the new changes. And I don't know. So I think we better wait for the delegation to see what will be the reaction or what will be the result of their meetings. I don't know how many days they are going to stay there.
Ano mo, Sharif? I do not know. I have no idea. All I'm saying is they are leaving tonight. That may
Yeah.
take about 2 to 3 days. So I don't know.
So maybe
I
by the end of the week we might know the results or what happened in the meetings and the result of this meeting.
yes. Yes, and I'm very sorry, Manny Jesrani cannot enter the one. I'm trying to answer Manny Jesrani who is trying to enter now the studio. Uh, but based on the current situation, other than what we have discussed, what do you think? What is, in your opinion, other than the deaths that are being highlighted by the Philippine government, on the part, can I mean, what can we get from the Kuwaiti side naman, Muhammad, from your being a member of the Arab community? I mean, you are
Yeah,
somehow in touch with them.
yeah.
What is their reaction naman about this?
Well, of course, they are not happy because all the agencies want to deploy, and Kuwait
Everybody,
market
yeah.
is really a big market, and of course,
Hmm.
most of them are out of business now because of what happening. Prior to the ban, actually from the start of the creation of DMW, they were very happy. Everybody was very happy. The agencies were very happy with the new steps that Secretary Oakley did in DMW in speeding up the processing, in making the processing online, and everything was fast streamed.
Yeah,
So,
OAC now is back to 3 days. Very good.
so it's
Or
really
even
nice. And then suddenly this ban
before
happened.
it
So
used to
they
be
were,
3 months. Yeah,
yeah,
sorry,
exactly.
3 weeks. Yes,
Yeah,
3 weeks or 3 days.
yeah. The
Yes.
job, the job by the secretary was well done in the DMW,
Oh,
and everything was.
oh, oh.
I mean, the FRAs here were the PRAs here all were happy because of the speedy process. Not like before, it takes 3 months. I don't know what. Now everything is okay and online, so they are very happy. And suddenly this happened, so they are back now again, being depressed and praying for a solution that things will open up again after the arrival of the delegation in Kuwait and having good result in finding a solution for that.
Mhm. Okay. Oh, oh my God. This is really very, very tiresome.
Yeah,
Uh,
it is.
but what can we do? If it is a situation
Just for
that is
purposes
beyond
of
our control.
comparison, June,
Yes, yes, Attorney Guzman, please.
uh, talking about timelines, on
Oh.
February 8, 14, 2018, uh, the first deployment ban on Kuwait was effected. However, it was lifted on May 25, 2018. So
Yes,
March,
Yes.
April, May, 3 months.
yes,
In 2020, it was imposed on January 3, 2020. It was lifted February 6, 2020. Just a month.
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, for those who are looking forward to the reopening of the market, uh, it should be
But that
lifted
was, yeah.
within 1 month
If-
or 3 months.
but the linear events that you explained earlier, Attorney De Guzman, if I may intercede, with all due respect, are the bans made by the Philippine government. This time is the reverse. Is the Kuwaiti government now? By the way, welcome to the group, Mr. Emmanuel Jeslani. No, thank you for logging in. Finally. Anyway, going back to the what I'm trying to say, but this time it is the Kuwaiti government who is doing it. So
yes,
where do we stand? How do we react to this? I mean, this is not apples. This is already apples and oranges to begin with. I mean, the previous ones were done by the Philippine government. That I can
ex-
understand. But this time,
exactly.
it is the Kuwaiti government.
Yes.
So, so where do we stand from here?
Yeah, the
Attorney Guzman.
June,
is now.
June, you will remember,
Opo.
Saudi did this before. When we stopped the deployment of domestic workers in Saudi way back, they also imposed stoppage of issuance of visas to Filipino workers. And what did we do? Our secretary, our DOT secretary, had to go to Saudi Arabia and to plead with the Saudi government to reopen. Okay, so the migration ban as a policy has been tried several times by our government. I think it is time to revisit and review this policy. Is it effective? In other words, whenever we impose a ban, a deployment ban, uh,
Hmm.
are we getting the or achieving the purpose for doing so? Uh, I remember Indonesia also stopped the deployment of domestic workers before.
No,
And
Yes.
I think
Indonesia stopped.
before
Indonesia
Thailand
stopped totally.
also stopped the deployment, or
No, Saudi Arabia banned
before
Thailand
Thailand.
Yeah, but
Yes, yes. So
Indonesia,
in
because
other
of
words,
Indonesia,
one citizen or royalty died in a hotel in Thailand, something like that.
they get me coffee.
so it can be that uh, that simple, ano? In other words, something happens, then one government decides this is the this is a policy that we should adopt. All I'm saying is that we've tried deployment bans many times with respect to many countries, only to lift them later, ano? And
Yeah,
then ban again, lift again. So I, I I
Ba,
I remember that in the case of Saudi, when we stopped the deployment to Saudi, what did Saudi do? It opened the market to other countries. You
yes,
recall?
which they did,
I think they
which they
they
did.
got 8 other sourcing countries. Okay,
Yes,
yeah,
yes. A
that
few
is
a
and
few
something that
months
we
ago.
cannot
recently,
prevent. Okay?
they opened up Ethiopia.
So we are just like we're doing a weightlifting here. We lift it, we put it down. We lift it, and parang we're like in a gymnasium, you know. And well, sabi nga ng ng ating kaibigan, our good friend, the O administrator, ano ba yan? Paulit-ulit na lang ang problema. Hindi ba pwede tayong gumawa ng isang policy na para na lang na matapos na yan once and for all? Ano ba ang ano natin? Anong gagawin natin? Ano ba dapat, pwede bang pag-usapan natin kung ano yung dapat natin gawin once and for all? Hindi yung gano'n na tuwing pupunta tayo ng Kuwait, may problema. Tapos yun pa rin ang yun pa rin ang issue. Oh, parang gano'n. And then again, uh, after a few while, after a while, maayos. Tapos ito na naman, may issue na naman. Tapos meron daw isang parang tribo o grupo diyan sa Kuwait na sinasabi na diyan daw halos nanggagaling yung problema. Yan daw yung lugar na yan, pag diyan daw pumunta ang mga domestic helper natin, problematic talaga daw lagi. Diyan daw yung particular na tribo na yan. I do not know what that is. He mentioned the name but I forgot the name. But other than that, 90% of Kuwait are very good employers, no? Ito lang yung particular area lang nito na talagang laging problematic. Are you there now, Manny Gislani? Can you hear us now? Manny? Manny Gislani? Manny
June, I will have
Gislani?
to leave already.
Ganun po ba? Oh, yes, it's already 4 o'clock. Yes,
Oo,
yes, yes.
oo, ano, it's already
That's the
4 o'clock
reason
eh.
why we started
Thank you
early
for
because
having
of
me in
you.
your program,
Well, it is our pleasure, Atty. de Guzman, and we will do our best to end this program in the same manner as we always do. Thank you very much. Sayang, we did not see you on video, but siguro we'll have another discussion like this as soon as they come back from Kuwait. At
Yes,
maayos na yung
I
iyong
hope that
video.
the results will be very positive. I am really optimistic.
Yes, yes. Atty. Guzman, final words na lang before you go. Final words to our listeners and viewers, please. Atty. Guzman.
ano, June, what is,
Final words sa ating
yes, what
viewers
did you,
and listeners before you go.
ah,
3 minutes, 2 minutes.
now I'm almost tempted to put from the slogan of a dry cleaning company. It's
Okay.
ang tagline
Which
nila
means
is
we said,
ganito.
ah,
If we cannot do it, again, if we cannot do it, it cannot be done.
ah, okay Very nicely said.
Okay? So that's it. That's my parting words.
If we cannot do it, if we cannot help you, nobody can. Anyway, thank you very much for your time,
Okay.
Atty.
Sige,
Guzman.
bye.
And thank you for your pan, ha? Thank you. Thank you for
Okay.
coming. And Mr. Manager Slani, who is coming in and out because of his internet connection, will just try to finish the program. Okay. Now that Atty. Guzman has set the legal parameters of the discussion, on the business side, because of course you being the representative of the community in the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, my good friend, how do you see the future of the market, considering all things considered?
The recruitment, you mean to say?
Well, the whole thing, recruitment, the
The recruitment
processing,
is,
the
if you
deployment.
notice, I think the recruitment market, I don't know if I am true or not, but from what I noticed that the numbers are going down and down and down for many
Actually,
reasons.
that's not only happening in Kuwait, also happening all over the
Yes,
world.
yeah, no, I'm talking in
Yes.
general. I'm talking in general.
In general,
I'm
yes,
talking
yes, yes.
about Saudi Arabia, Middle East, Singapore,
Yeah. I'm talking
Taiwan.
about Filipinos, not only other countries.
Yeah, no, not. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the recruitment itself.
Of
The recruitment
Filipinos
in
are
the
going down because of
yes,
many reasons.
and
Yes,
if you
yes,
notice, because with Taiwan, with the tensions over there, the
yes,
situation, numbers
yes,
are
yes,
being down and down. Workers are being,
yes.
you know,
Factories are
same,
closing and people are being
exactly.
terminated.
Same thing
Uh,
is happening in the Middle East because of the situation, as you know, economically. After the pandemic, of course, that happened. People are trying to still recover. Of course,
mhm.
the new rules, the regulations coming up, fast every day. Changes are happening in the Middle East. Changes are happening here in our country also. So the
Yes.
recruitment market was really affected and is still being affected. And I don't know if the numbers in POA or DMW can show that the numbers from last year or the year before is down and down and down and down. You know, and I
Well, they
know
all
from
limit because of the pandemic anyway.
yeah,
So,
and I know from my friends they used to deploy, let's say, this number. Now they are deploying less. Others are the same being affected. So problems like this add to the down of the numbers. Like what happened in Kuwait now, the ban. How
oh,
many how
oh,
many hundreds, how many thousands are affected already, and how many
oh,
thousands
oh.
will be affected already. So these are counting
Mm.
numbers that are being eliminated from our side. The same thing
Mm.
happens in Saudi before. When we stopped, as Attorney de Guzman, Saudi Arabia opened Ethiopia, opened Guinea, opened other countries. So these numbers were taken from where? From our market also. You got my point.
Mm.
So
Yes.
the market is being, pulled down and down and down and down. Of course, it's not the problem of our government. It's the situation of the whole world in economic, in the other side also. It's
Yes,
affecting
yes, yes.
everybody. It's not our
Yes,
fault or
yes.
our government fault or our DMW fault. It's not. It's what's happening there is affecting the recruitment. Add
The
to it,
global
of
world of
course,
recruitment.
yeah, add to it the last factor is what happened, the stoppage in Saudi Arabia. You know, Saudi
Mm.
Arabia was
Mm.
forced to open, Ethiopia was forced to open, Guinea was forced to open, other countries, and it took a chunk
Yes.
from our market.
Even
Now we
Even Thailand that they used to close, they already opened.
exactly, they opened Thailand. You got my point.
Yes.
Now
Yes.
Kuwait, we are into a stalemate in Kuwait again, right? Now, if
Mm.
our delegation went today, arrived, and hope they solve the problem. But let's say the problem was delayed in solving or was not solved. What do you expect the Kuwait government will do? Will look at the same like what Saudi government did, other options. You know, they will open up other
Mm.
markets. You got my point, because of course they have to
Other
serve their
sources.
citizens.
Yes.
You got my
Of
point.
course, of
So
course.
it will take
Yes.
again a chunk of our market. And if Kuwait opens again, that chunk is already taken. You got my point. A channel is open. So in the end, we have to solve the problem as soon as possible. But of course, we should, stick to our concern. The OFW safety, our OFW rights, all the concerns that we have for OFW, we should stick to it and never, back down on these issues. We have to protect, we have to do everything to protect our OFWs. At the same time, we have to look also at the interest of the employers and the rights of the employers. You got my point. If the fault is from
Mm.
OFW, of course, their rights should be protected also. I think by understanding this situation, we can come up to a common point, and the delegation will come and find a solution for this stalemate, and the relations will, be restored again, and deployment will open up again like before.
Okay. Thank you very much. Can we allow our
Money is there.
newcomer, Mr. Manny Gislani, can you react to what our good friend from the Philippine Chamber of Commerce just mentioned? Can you say something about it? Nakamute ka, Manny. Yeah,
I think money
nakamute ka.
cannot hear.
Na he has a headphone. Manny, nakamute
Ah,
ka, paki-unmute lang. And react to what our good friend just mentioned.
suggest.
Very constructive and very precise yung sinabi niya. And somehow I got it. Can you react to that, Manny?
Why this one is not charging? Do you have another one? Give me another one. No, another one. I think he still cannot hear, Raul.
I don't know.
He is looking
I'm
at his
unmuting him. Can you hear us, Manny? I already unmute him.
Can you hear me
use hand
now?
signal with
Yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah. We can hear you now,
So
please.
can you hear me now?
Oh yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
very clear. 5 by 5. Yeah. Can you
Actually,
say something about the situation?
I'm
I
well.
don't know if
Actually,
he
I'm
heard
not
what I said.
really that the markets are going down, especially Middle East. Not all markets are going down. Uh, the price of oil is very high now, $90. So
Price of oil is
there's
very
a
low
lot of
now.
income in with the Saudis and the Kuwaitis. Now, with the market, let's go back to the ban, if it's possible. Okay?
Yeah.
Uh,
That
I
that's the main
overheard
issue.
I overheard Attorney De Guzman that, and I did not get the last one, but it might take quite a long time before they will lift the ban. Is that what he said?
No,
No.
what he said,
No.
the last part was, every time there is a ban, every 1 month the ban is lifted. Anyway, that was the last part of what he said.
Okay, okay.
So I mean,
That would
if,
be
if if we talk about the linear proceedings of what transpired in the past, as far as the ban is
yes, but
concerned.
yes, but now that part
Why is not
we are
charging?
the ones doing the ban, but now it's Kuwait who's giving the ban,
Yes.
thinking
I don't
what will
know.
be their plan because they're the ones who now impose the ban. So,
Mm.
and I don't know if you, I was not able to send you my article, but tomorrow uh, somebody's interviewing me again. I am saying that the delegation there who will go there this week will be for nothing. They might not be able to accomplish anything. The delegation of the DMD and DFA because the Kuwaiti group is not ready to talk about a new labor agreement. They want us to
No,
stick
no,
with
no.
the
As far
old.
as we have
They,
already talked about the bilateral labor agreement earlier. Actually, what happened
mm,
is it expired on May 11, but since 6 months prior to its expiration, none of the parties
yes,
expressed any intention of
express their view.
having it redone. So it was automatically
Yes.
renewed for another 4 years.
Okay. So therefore,
So on
if
May
we,
2018, so by it's valid until May 2008, 18, 19, 20, 22. And then
24,
on 22, again, nobody expressed any intention to 6 months prior to May 11,
yes,
May 15 na tayo ngayon. So, in effect, na-renew na naman for another
as
four
you said, it is,
years.
yeah, that's my point. Uh, the Kuwaiti group uh, is happy. I'm not saying happy, but they are working with the 2018 labor agreement. And on our side, we want to introduce a new labor agreement as
Yes.
being pushed by Secretary Ople. So how can you reconcile the meeting between the Kuwaitis and the Philippine group if we are insisting that this labor agreement in 2018 to the thing of the Filipinos is not anymore working. But since it's been renewed automatically, then the Kuwaitis will stick to the 2018 agreement. Now,
Mm.
if we are going to insist on a new one, I don't know how they are going to meet on the table. That's why I said
Mm.
it may be the trip will be for nothing. I think
Oh,
there is a
for no.
problem with communication with there is a problem with communication with the Kuwait group and
Oh.
the Philippine group.
Eh,
They are not talking directly to each other. Huh?
mm.
Nobody
We
is
have, by the way,
pushing something.
let me cut you a little bit, Manny, no, ha? We have a
Mm.
we have a commenter coming from Taiwan, Chen Ikao, and he said, what El Baita Mohammed is saying are true, and hope that our government can see the reality that that not only the workers have the right, but also the employers have the right also. And then she continued, every country can open their manpower market to other labor supporting market, not not ito, and it really takes away the chunk of job orders given to the Philippines. Well said, Muhammad Al-Baitam. This is coming from our correspondent in Taiwan. Anyway,
Yeah.
nicely said.
John,
Please, yes.
yeah, with regard to what Manny said, I think there is a truth of what Manny is saying. I think about the bilateral agreement, Attorney De Guzman said that it is automatically renewed, right? But
Yes.
of what I heard, I don't know whether it is true or not, that our DMW department or the government is trying to add some new rules, or to amend that bilateral agreement, or
Yeah, all
introduce,
agreements can be amended eventually.
yeah,
Yes, of
or
course.
introduce a new one where the DMW department or our government will add some rules, new rules to further protect, the rights of our workers, or to take care of the selection of the employer, as Attorney de Guzman, like what's happening in Singapore, in order for
Yes,
us
yes,
to make sure that the employers where our OFW are going are
yes,
really
yes,
capable of protecting, capable of financing, and everything. So
yes,
maybe
yes,
that
yes,
will be
yes.
a big issue between the delegation who is going to Kuwait and, of course, their counterpart in Kuwait, whether the Kuwaitis will accept to amend or to add new rules, or even introduce a new bilateral agreement to be signed between the two governments. So Manny is right
Okay,
about that. And I heard about that. I don't know whether it is true or not, that the Philippine government is trying to amend to add more provisions to the old bilateral agreement
or if
to
not,
further,
change it totally since
yeah,
it
or
was
change
signed
it
by Dole
totally,
and not
further to,
DMW. Yeah.
yeah, and so that further to strengthen the protection of our OFW in the host countries.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead,
Manny,
Manny.
you want to add something to that,
Yeah, go
Manny?
ahead, Manny. Sorry for interrupting you.
Manny.
You know,
Hello?
if
Yeah.
the Philippine delegation will insist on introducing a new
See?
labor
Yeah.
agreement, or as
Yes.
Mohammed said, they might want to amend it, the Kuwaitis will not agree.
Okay.
Why
That's my
so?
feeling, because that labor agreement is very strong already. It, there were many provisions there that really protects the Filipino worker. It is similar to the Saudi labor agreement signed in 2013 by uh, by Secretary Baldos. And then now there's a new again labor agreement signed again last 2022 by
Yes.
uh, by Secretary Pople.
Yes.
Now,
That's true.
if we keep on changing the rules, our counterpart will not like this, because this is only one incident that happened. The reason why we had a new labor agreement was because of the death of the Mapelis. But after
Yes.
that, from 2008 up to 2022, 23, there were no very uh, bad incidents, and
Oh.
the agreement was working very well. So
Hmm.
if uh, if
Eh wala,
if the secretary will insist on a new,
nag-grandstanding yung kaibigan mo sa Senado eh. So sabi niya, oh, you should be banned because
then aside from that, let's not listen to Rodolfo. He's not the POA,
uh,
he's not the DMW. And,
Yeah.
and the problem with Mr. Grandstander, Mr. He just wants to make a name for himself. Will he be able to give employment to 300,000 Filipinos there in Kuwait? What will happen
Ac-
if he keeps on saying
Actually,
that we should stop them?
actually, Senator Tolfo also and Senator Villanueva, when they voiced their concern, I think they had the right to voice their concern, because in the end, they are only looking about of the welfare of our OFW. They don't want, not them only, also all of us. We don't want anything bad to happen to our OFW.
Yeah, nobody
Moreover,
wants to die.
yeah,
Oh.
moreover, a death,
Or to be
that is
killed,
very
to be
hard.
raped, to
Yeah.
be burned.
Uh,
Yes.
I think the bilateral agreement, Senator Secretary Opley signed a new one in Saudi Arabia last year, right? And it was amended, and
Yes.
they introduced a new one.
Yes.
So I think also, I am hopeful that the Kuwaiti government will be open to sign a new bilateral agreement, amended one, to add some provisions, especially if the new provisions will add for the protection of the OFW, and at the same time provision to protect the rights of the employer, right? So if
Mm.
this will be added on our part, and another provisions will be added to protect their part also, I don't think the Kuwaiti government will say no to it. So I am hopeful that if they
Well,
introduce a new bilateral agreement apart from the one that expired, and the provisions are, common for the protection of both parties, I don't think the Kuwaiti government will oppose to this, and they will be able to find a solution and sign and open up.
Mm. I agree.
well, I
Well,
think on
somehow I agree to
that,
what our good friend said, and it deserves an applause. Yes.
I agree also with
Yes.
Ahmad.
Yes.
If what we are introducing will be uh, additional benefits or additional welfare protection, and there are anyway the Kuwaitis are also uh, they're they also think in the ways that will help the countrymen, not the Filipinos. Now, one thing that I think they want to introduce to the Kuwaiti market is similar to the Saudi, the white list and the black list. So
Yes.
they want to screen now all the employers, all the recruitment agencies now in Kuwait who have not been very performing very well, or who have been uh, li- not taking care of our Filipinos. These are the agencies that should be put in the blacklist. Now, if
Yeah.
there is a white list, then they will have to screen again, and it will take time. Now, if the Kuwaitis agree, if the Kuwaitis will agree, I think one one bargaining chip is that the Philippines should start sending new hires and
Well,
not be
eventually, oh,
the
of course,
former.
that's one of the
Uh,
one. But
Mr.
here is
Manny,
the another question. Muhammad, if I may ask you, are you agreeable of implementing the white list in Kuwait?
actually, if I say my opinion, I will create
From
a
the
lot of
Philippine
enemies.
Chamber Commerce of,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
from the
yeah, yeah.
business point
I
of
know.
view.
The private sector in the Philippines and the private sector in Kuwait do not like this whitelist and blacklist. Do not like it. I mean, it's obvious. They don't like it because many of them
It's an
I
added
talk
layer kasi.
right
Yes.
now. I talked to those
Yes.
Kuwaitis, owners of agencies, and I told them about that. I told them that the Philippines might introduce the same system that they did in Saudi Arabia, and they find it successful, and they might implement it in Kuwait. So the reaction was, oh my God, if they will implement that in Kuwait, 70% of the Kuwaiti agencies will be in the blacklist. Because why? Up to this moment, there are more than 700, I think, HSW in the Bahay Kalinga in Kuwait, waiting to
Are
be
you kidding?
repatriated.
Are you
Right?
kidding? Oh my God.
I'm
That
not. I.
much?
This is what I heard. You know why?
Uh,
Because now the recruitment is stopped. Right? Okay. Now let's say from the time the recruitment stopped, how many months already? 2 months, 3 months? Okay.
oh,
Now,
oh.
okay, let's say
Less
there
than
is
1 month.
one domestic helper got a problem. They sent her back to the office, right? So the office do
Mm.
not care because Philippines is closed. Why should he care? So he will send her to the Philippine embassy or to the Bahay Kalinga, and of course the embassy will call him. He will not answer. The Philippine is closed. Why should I spend money or repatriate or pay her ticket or whatever? So now the numbers in the Philippine embassy in Kuwait shelters are increasing day by day, and no help coming from the FRAs because it is closed. Why should I spend money? Right? And this is adding up to the problem now. And I think one of the points that the delegation will be discussing are those stranded workers in Kuwait, the domestic helpers, how to bring them back home, you know? And the numbers are increasing day by day. So this is another issue. That's why I don't know if I could answer your question if I prefer the white list, black list. I really don't know. Uh, Mr. Mani can answer us. Did it work in Saudi Arabia, Mr. Mani, the white list and black list? Did it have a good
Mani,
effect?
from your end, dahil medyo madikit ka sa clubs, ano ba ang reaction ng clubs? Effective ba ang whitelist?
Yes, they
Did
is
it do good
working
in
for
Saudi Arabia?
the class. Yes, they were
Kasi
able
di
to
ba
deploy a
sila
lot of people
nag-recommend yan
because
sa
uh,
DMW in the first place. So is it effective? Did it do good in Saudi Arabia?
well, as far as I observed, the YPG is working for the agencies because they are able to comply with the requirements of the agencies in Saudi are able to comply with the requirements of the whitelist, and then
Yes.
really some of them really deserve to be in the whitelist. It's
Yeah.
only those people in the blacklist, but uh, deployment to Saudi Arabia is very long now.
Yeah.
So it's like last year. No deployment to Saudi, more deployment to Kuwait. Now no deployment to Kuwait, more deployment to Saudi. It,
Yes.
it balances itself. You know, the recruitment agencies are very resilient. They know how to move around their people. But as far as I know, there is no problem with the white list. No,
So if it
many
is
people
okay, then
are.
let it be implemented in Kuwait. But I assure you, 70% or 50% of the FRAs in Kuwait will be in the
Will not
blacklist
qualify.
because
Yeah,
of the.
they will
So
not
if it is going
qualify.
to
Meaning,
implement it in Kuwait,
yes.
then we can deal with good agencies in Kuwait, which is
But
really good for us.
gentlemen, if I may butt in, no, ha?
Yeah.
This is exactly not what this is not coming from my end, no. I have talked also with some leaders of clans, and they are not happy with the white list at all,
Yes, I
along
know.
with their partners,
Yes.
because it created more problems than solution in terms of deployment, in terms of processing, in
Yes.
terms of stopping of the processing, in terms of one complaint, it will stop the processing altogether. Something like
Yes.
that. This is now according from the people I have talked to, Manny, ha?
That's true.
And these are
That's
the
true.
members that you are very close, Manny. I mean, you are talking to them. I'm not talking to them.
And
I'm talking to some, but not all of them. Okay? But this is what I
just
am
a fair
getting.
few only.
Yeah. So anyway,
You
that is
know,
the point,
the
Manny. I'm just telling you, uh, not some. I'm talking to a lot of them who are deploying uh, house foreign domestic Filipino domestic workers, and they are saying that this white list is a blacklist in disguise,
I
something like
think
that.
I think Raul, there was a suggestion from the agencies. You know, if let's say you have a problem, you are deploying, you have job orders in Saudi, you have job orders from Kuwait, you have job orders from Qatar, okay? And you
Hmm.
are in the white list, okay now. Let's say you have a problem in Saudi Arabia, usually you are
All of the others
suspended,
are affected.
are
Okay.
affected. So what they are telling
Yes.
is if I am suspended in Saudi, my job orders to Qatar and Kuwait should not be,
The whole
and
processing
should
is
continue in
stop. Yes,
order
yes.
not to lose the market, which is fair, and
I
I
know,
think,
but that is not what POA is doing. POA is doing is all your processing is stop
yeah, I think
until
there
you
should
solve
be,
this one worker who wants
yeah,
to go home and
yeah.
then bring her home alive.
Yeah, I think someone should give this, let the POA or the DMW pay attention to this problem.
Yeah,
And they
particular
have to
issue.
look into,
Yes, yes.
yes, if let's say there is a problem in Saudi, only this job order to
Yeah,
Saudi should be
country
suspended.
specific. Only Saudi. Do
Yeah,
not
because the
involve other
others, of course,
market.
it will affect the normal other, which they are good and it's a good market. And sayang yan eh. So
Eh,
if the
tama, tama.
BMW can change that rule, I think everybody will be happy, and the
Oo,
business will go more smooth and normal.
exactly. Exactly. I agree with you. So Manny, any reaction from what Muhammad and I said?
Well, if the white list is not really, you have to give this procedure some time to either be a success or be a failure. It's only been implemented for the past few months, no?
Yeah.
And in fact, deployment to Saudi only started last January
Pare,
because
Yeah.
more than
they
six
have
months
to
implemented na
comply
yan.
with the.
Are you trying to tell me they cannot perfect it in 6 months?
Oh, well, it's not that. It depends on how many agencies are complying with the white list, and uh, I mean the Saudi agencies.
I think
Uh,
80% are
you have
in,
to give them
Manny.
some time, even the 6 months.
More than 80% are
Huh?
on the white list, Manny. More than 80% are on the white list already.
Ah,
That's good. That's good
okay.
for the
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a
agencies.
bad figure.
No.
Oh,
More than
No,
80% are on the
80%.
white
Yeah,
list already.
that's that
So if they
that
will
should improve
implement it in Kuwait, then
deployment.
we will have to wait and see the reaction of the Kuwaiti on the of whether they will accept that whitelist, blacklist. But I think they have no choice but to accept it because it is already being implemented in Saudi Arabia, and the success rate is, I think the success rate is good. So I don't think they will what do you call that? They will object to that, and
but
it's
here's
our
the
land.
problem na eh. We will go back to the cat and mouse
This,
game. That time, it was the Philippine government who implemented the ban, and the only way to lift the ban is for Saudi Arabia to accept this white list proposal.
Mhm.
This time, they're going there. The Kuwaiti government is the one who
Yes,
imposed the ban. And
yes,
now here we are with with this piece of paper saying, okay, please lift the ban, but please also do this. Parang you're asking for two things from them and you're not giving something back. You get my point?
yes, yes.
Parang it's always
hmm,
two-way street eh.
yes, correct.
And I'm not trying to be negative here, no. I'm not trying to be a pessimistic person here. All I'm saying is let's be realistic naman. It The situation now is it's two against zero. Dati one against one.
Yes.
So may balancing act. Now it's
Yeah.
two against zero.
Now,
What are you trying to tell me? You know?
now the situation
Sorry.
is really different, as you said, because the Kuwaiti have banned
Come
us,
on.
and they
I'm just trying to be realistic. I
and
am
this
not being
time,
pessimistic. I'm
yeah,
not
and
being negative, but I'm just trying to be realistic.
yes.
How do we approach it
The problem
properly?
also this time they banned us totally, skilled,
Eh,
unskilled, and SSW.
yes, totally,
Yeah.
including tourists.
Yes, maybe Raul, it's like, it's like a bargaining chip or putting pressure on
It's like
our
if you hold
government.
a Philippine passport, you are definitely not allowed unless you
Yes,
have a resident visa.
but
That's different.
I really consider this very harsh, and really very harsh.
Oh
And
yes, that is my point. This is they are treating this a very serious matter. Now
yes,
back to my equation, back to my statistics. Before we had 1:1, so balance.
yes,
Now we have
yes,
2:0. How do you
yes.
balance that? How do you
Now,
balance the scale?
how do we balance that will depend on the delegation going there, and we have to wait for the result and what they are bringing on the table
Uh,
in the
I
discussion.
agree.
We don't know
Of
that.
course,
Well,
I don't
we
know
have to
that. You
put
don't
all
know
yeah,
that.
our faith in them. Oh,
You're right. We have to
mm,
put our faith in them. We put our
yes.
faith in them in Saudi Arabia, and they were able to solve the problem, thankfully. Now we have to put our trust and faith in Secretary Oakley leadership, and of course the delegation of USEC, Hans Kaddak, and the others, of what they are going to bring to the Kuwaiti government on the table for the discussion
Mm,
to find a solution for this problem. So we
yes,
don't know
yes, yes,
anything yet. We don't know what they are bringing
yes,
on the table. We have to wait
yes,
until, let's say, 3 days. News will come
yes.
out, and then we can have a better discussion because we will know what's happening or what happened. Hopefully, we will.
Okay.
Hopefully, I am sure we are putting, as we said, our trust in the delegation, and hopefully they
Mm-mm.
will do a good job and find a way in opening up the relation again.
Reaction, money, money,
well, as far as I
reaction.
know, the Kuwaitis are holding the upper hand.
Yes.
Oh
They
yeah,
have
yeah,
the
yeah.
they have the aces.
Most definitely.
They
I
have
will
the
not
Yes.
aces.
disagree with that. Yes.
Yes.
They have the
It's
aces
like,
in
hey,
the
you're
hand.
preaching to the
And
choir, my friend. Yes. Yeah.
yeah, that's why. So
Mm.
if what we require will satisfactory to them, then of course, as I said, they will ask for the lifting of the ban, lifting of our ban, the new hires. In
Mm-hmm.
other words, I scratch your back, you scratch my back.
Yes.
We don't know. I have no. I am sorry to say, I am not very
What kind of
confident
back are we
with the
talking about
people that
now?
we're going to.
Uh, do we need
No,
to
we're
use a
talking about the
scratcher to
Philippine
scratch each
delegation.
other's back?
Oh, well, the Philippine delegation is new. It holds BMW. Who are they going to bring to the bargaining table? If they are
From
going to
the news
go
I
to the
heard this
bargaining table,
morning, it will be one ASEC, uh,
hmm,
OWA Administrator Arnel,
and then,
maybe one USEC, I do not know who. But like I said, from what I have gathered, before this, it was Secretary Tuts and Yusek P.Y. Kaunan, who is, by the
Yeah.
way, is very good in making bilateral agreement, bilateral.
Yes.
Uh, she is the one, in fact, who drafted the bilateral agreement in Saudi Arabia. That's why it was. I was told perfectly done. So that said, I I share the same sentiment of our good friend here from the Philippine Chamber of Commerce, no, who is the co-chair of the Philippine Kuwait Business Council, that without the secretary and this undersecretary who made this bilateral agreement with Saudi Arabia, without them being there, I'm not saying it will fail, but without them being there, it does not add up to the confidence level of the stakeholders in the of those participating in the Kuwaiti labor market. Am I correct, Muhammad, in what I am saying?
Yes. 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 That's true.
Yeah. Manny, your reaction to that, please.
Well, I think they should bring the first team to Saudi to the Kuwait. If the secretary will not join, then I have a very bad feeling that she will not go there because she is going to Saudi Arabia. She will leave this to the panel, to the group. Maybe said
Yeah,
Yusef
but
PY
it's on the way
and
anyway, and if she can travel from Cairo to the US and back to Manila, what is only Kuwait is only after Kuwait is already Saudi Arabia, you know.
well, this is my suggestion. The first team
Which,
should
by the way, I do not know because you did
see
not came in
ambassador.
earlier. This is my observation. Since the
Oh,
time the Kuwaiti government came out with the ban, the our beloved secretary, I have not seen our beloved
hmm,
secretary discuss the matter in person. She always delegated
yes,
it to her deputies. Now here, but I mean again back to my point. I hope and pray she is well because what she did in Sudan and to the US and that was not very. I mean, I myself, I I will be hospitalized doing that because she had to travel how many hours by bus just going to the border of Sudan. That's 13 hours, my friend.
I agree.
And then
I thought you
and
only
then
went to
that from the
Cairo.
border and then another 10 hours from Aswan to Cairo by bus again. Oh. And then another how many hours going to the US just to meet the president to be part of his entourage. Something like that. I mean, what she did was not easy. I myself I cannot do that anymore.
I think
I
I think
yeah,
we
yeah,
have to
you
give
want to
her.
say something, Muhammad? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have to give her the benefit of the doubt because we don't know anything of what's happening with her because of her
Of course,
hectic
of course, of
schedule
course.
and these things. And we
Of
all
course, of
pray that
course.
she is, and we all
Like
pray
I
for
said,
her
we are
that she
all
is in good
praying for
health
her health and good
and
health.
well.
Yes, 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 of course.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. And I am sure sooner or later she will come up with a press conference or an announcement of what's going on. But at the
Yes,
moment, we
yes.
have to give her the benefit of the doubt because uh, what she is doing is really great. But we always hope, we always hope that she hits the delegation because what she did in Saudi Arabia, what she did in Sudan was really a success, and she is capable of solving the
And
problems.
no joke. It was no joke.
Yeah, yeah. So I am. That's why I was praying that she will be heading the delegation to Kuwait because I really trust her ability to solve the problems because she has an understandable character to understand both parties. To benefit A and B at the same time and find a way to
Mm.
solve this stalemate. But why she is not going, we don't know. We hope she is well, uh, and we hope that.
Same thing here, my friend. Same thing
Yeah,
here.
and
Yes.
we hope the delegation who is going there by Yusek, Hansley Kadak, and Arnel Ignacio, and they are also capable people, and they are well
Well,
experienced
I know they
in
are.
this.
I know they are. But
Yeah,
like you said earlier before money came, iba na yung dating pag
yes,
secretary ang nandun.
this is what I
Oh,
am worried about. This is what I'm worried about from the Kuwait point of view. You know,
yes.
the situation is
Protocol.
so severe, and iba ang
Oh.
dating nyo. You got my point.
Oh.
That's my
Tapos,
only concern.
para bang, teka, nagkakagulo na nga tayo, padadala mo pa ako ng deputy mo. Dapat ikaw ang dumating. Parang ganon.
Of course,
Siyempre, alam mo naman.
yeah, with all due respect to the delegation who is going there, we don't undermine their
Oo naman, no.
capabilities.
We're not undermining their capabilities, of course.
No, no,
They are
we
capable, they're good, and I
of
know
course, yes,
with the
well
blessings of the
experienced,
secretary, they will do a good job. It's just
yes,
that, yeah, we are more yung confidence level nga among the
yes,
stakeholders will be much higher if she herself will be there.
yes. I
Yun
am
ang
worried
ating
only
kwan.
about the reaction of the other side. That's my only concern.
Yun na nga,
Not
yun na nga.
about the
That's it.
capabilities of the delegation because these people are, been
Oo.
in service for tens of years and they know what they are saying. They know what they are doing. You got my
Oh,
point.
oh,
And when the
correct.
secretary herself is there, she can take the decision on right, immediately,
Yes,
without any bad
yes,
communication, without any bad feedback, without
yes,
on the
yes,
spot
yes.
she can make the decision
Oh,
because she is the
correct,
decision maker, right?
correct.
So the
And
problem can be solved immediately with her presence.
yes, and she is the alter ego of the president to begin with.
Exactly,
Yes. Oh,
exactly. We don't mean
oh.
any ill feelings or undermining
Oh,
others. We
no,
are
no, no,
only
no,
talking,
no, no,
yeah.
no, no. Of course
We don't
not.
want our words to be misunderstood. We respect
No,
everybody. We
no, no.
appreciate the works, but
Of
we
course
want.
not.
Yeah, the situation is very severe, as you said, because it's the first time that the Kuwait government barred everything. You know,
Yes,
it never happened before. It's the first time
yes,
that this
yes.
situation we are facing. As Manny said, we are undermined here. So in
And
this
like I said,
situation, yeah,
the balancing
yeah,
act is not really
exactly. So when we go
proper.
there, we should go strong, in order
Correct,
to face the strong reaction of the other party.
correct, correct,
But
correct,
still,
correct,
we
correct.
pray that the delegation will come up with a good resolution for that stalemate, and everybody will be happy because I am sure, I assure you, and I repeat it again, Kuwait government loves the Philippine government. Nobody in
Eh,
Kuwait wants this to happen, and I think
correct.
there is a misunderstanding or mis-issues that need to be ironed out. After that, I think relations will come back. And don't forget that Kuwait government is not only dealing with the Philippines in OFW. Huh? There are so many big Kuwait businessmen who are investing in banana plantation, in agriculture. Even one Kuwaiti owns one of the richest, one of the most expensive resorts in the Philippines. And they are into
Mm.
many other sectors like oil and gas and things, not only OFW. So this issue, when it is resolved, the Kuwaiti government, I am sure, keen on reopening and rebuilding the relation with the Philippines on all aspects, including recruitment.
Oh, thank you very much. Nicely said and nicely put, my dear friend Muhammad.
Let's pray
This is
for the good thing
really
result. Let's pray for
yes,
good
yes.
results.
Hopefully.
Of course, Mr. Mani, our friend Mr. Mani, is in touch also with the local recruitment agencies, and of course, he always hears their sides, and he knows already the consequences and the losses that they are incurring at this time. And also, of course, the welfare of those who were supposed to be deployed and now they are denied entry. This all adds to the loss on the local recruitment agencies, on our OFW, and also on the statistics of our DMW. So a
mm,
quick solution is best for all. But of course,
mm,
both parties has to give in to their conditions. We have to give in something. The Kuwaitis will give in something, and then a solution will be found, I'm sure.
mm. Uh, yeah. Uh, Correct. Well put, my
Yeah.
friend. Well put.
Maybe
Uh,
Mr. Mani can
uh,
explain to us and can show us what's happening now with the local recruitment agencies and the
oh.
consequences that they are facing now.
Ano na yung feeling diyan, Manny? Ano na yung what's on the level of our good friends?
Well, what
Manny.
as I say, let's wait and see. As far as they're concerned, they have been through several problems like bans from our side. Now, yung ating mga workers ang binaban.
Yeah.
Maybe
Mhm.
to them, it's just one hiccup in the business. This business
Mhm.
really is a difficult business. You cannot please everybody. Now with
No.
Of
the
course.
ban on our workers, the the agencies will just wait for the government because they cannot do anything. It's up to the government to solve this because it is the government who gave this problem to the Kuwaitis by not the
Mhm.
new hires. This is the reason. Let's all agree. This is the reason why they ban, because they keep
Mhm.
stop the new hires. I do not believe
Mhm.
about those welfare centers, etc. It's all about new hires. So
Mhm.
let's face the fact. The Kuwaiti groups, especially the agencies, they're very strong in Kuwait. They're very
Yeah.
politically strong. So maybe they force
Yes.
the interior minister to give this problem for us. You know,
That's
I'm
true.
sure that's the reason, but we cannot put it in black and white. No? But that's as far as I'm concerned, it's the only reason the new hires, and
Yeah.
it's up to the Philippine government to propose a new agreement that will be acceptable. And if not acceptable,
Mhm.
then well, go home. Because, you know, as I said, the, they should send their team. Maybe
That's true.
send some ambassador, Muslim ambassador. They cannot be dealing with the Muslims on the Kuwaitis on a translation. No, let somebody speak for the delegation. Somebody who has political clout in Kuwait, like what they did
Mhm.
in the 2018 agreement. They
You
sent
know,
ambassadors, they sent senators. Then they were
Mr.
able
Manny,
to.
I wish I could have the chance to go with them. If I will be invited to go with them, I will be really willing to serve everybody here. I will serve our government, I will serve our DMW, and of course I can talk to those Kuwaitis and find a way to help these things.
Mhm. Let's hope
And
so.
that's
I,
also a very noble offer, and I hope some of the people from the government is listening to us now, and here listening to your suggestions,
I
because
hope
like I said,
I I am willing
it
to
makes
serve.
it makes sense.
I've been here in this country for 32 years, and I really love this country, and I am now part of this country. So any chance to serve the
You are a
country, to
Filipino
serve the
citizen of
people
this
of the
country. What are
Philippines,
you talking about? Yeah.
I will be doing it.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much for such an offer. Anyway, we're towards the end of our program. If I may give each one of you 5 minutes each to give your final words to. Ah, no, 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 no. Sorry, we still have. Sorry, we
55
still have 13 more minutes.
minutes.
Ah, okay.
No, 13 more minutes. 13 more minutes.
13.
I
Because
think
we started late. We
yeah.
started late. I'm sorry. Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
and then we had some technical problems along the way. But that being said, I hope, like I said, the problem is we have to give our full faith and confidence with this delegation who will be going to Kuwait and help resolve this matter as soon as time possible, so that these 3,000 stranded workers now who are about to depart for Kuwait will not be affected. Okay.
Yes, that's true.
Uh, because it is now being from time to time aired almost every hour, and then it is being written, scrolled in the how do we say, uh, in the uh, okay, we have another comment here. I just hope that those from DMW are in tune on the discussion. I think Sir Muhammad had felt it all, and also with Sir Mani. Okay, this is of course coming from one of our uh, commenters from Taiwan. This is from Taiwan.
Yeah,
We have people commenting from Malaysia. The one
yeah,
earlier, architect Jas Santos is from Malaysia, and he just said hello. And then we have another one from Pampanga, and she said, "Oh, now the the our sound is clear because you were coming in and out earlier." Anyway,
Ah, yes,
so
yeah.
Manny, sa tingin mo ba, in your opinion, tong delegation na darating ngayon without in just in case, we hope not, but just in case the secretary will not be around, do you think there is any light at the end of the tunnel? Money! Money
Cannot hear.
stopped.
Yeah.
No, he just had a heart attack.
Oh no. I hope not.
No, no, I'm
He's
just
taking a
kidding.
nap.
You know,
Yeah.
we have
I
been
think
friends of
I
for
think
so long.
I think
Yeah,
Raul
yeah.
it depends now. All we have to do is just wait to see what the delegation who are going there will bring on the table of discussion with the Kuwaiti government.
Yeah, of course.
We
I
don't
have
know
Same.
what they are bringing, right?
taken lunch,
So
Yeah,
we don't.
now he's talking. Okay,
Okay.
we are asking your opinion about what if may God forbid the secretary failed to join the delegation. How do you see the situation? How do you look at it? Something is wrong with your connection again, my friend.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I
now
think.
he's
Yeah.
back on his phone.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think Manny, even if the Honorable Secretary Obli did not join for, let's say, for her reason, we pray that she is well and doing good. The most important, I think, is what the delegation will be bringing on the table for discussion with the Kuwaiti government officials. If they find a common ground and, things get well, I think things will be okay. We pray for
mm,
that.
yes, alhamdulillah. Yes,
We will
yes.
know that maybe
Okay.
after 3 days, or maybe
Yes, yes,
after the first meeting, if they make a press conference, then we will be able to
yes.
know that the initial
Mm.
lines of what's coming ahead.
No.
We
So
just pray that
what
it will be good.
our best suggestion now is to be calm and sober. Manny,
Yes,
you want to say something, Manny?
I think he's yeah. Go ahead, Manny.
You have the floor,
yes, that's
and your signal. You have the floor, but your signal is bad.
just on the
I-on and off mo muna yung connection mo sa internet,
15
and then
today, May 15.
hello. You're not coming very clear eh. You're not on and off eh. You go out and get in again. Hello. Hello, Manny. Go out and get in again so that we could go to our extra already. With our we are now in the last portion of our call. By the way, our program is simultaneously being broadcasted on six social media platforms, many of which are Facebook, on Twitter, and on YouTube. You know,
That's
and
nice.
hopefully in a few days we will be broadcasting also on LinkedIn, which is the business
Oh,
sector of among the social media network.
that's
So
nice.
we are going to be broadcasted on all eight social media platforms, major social
That's
media platforms, including
that's nice.
Instagram.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Yes.
Yes.
Anyway,
Are you back,
Manny,
Manny?
I hope you're not having a heart attack there. You froze again. You know, you know this. We have sometimes we have to laugh at these things. sometimes because this internet thing in the Philippines is not only funny, it's a joke.
Yeah.
Because people are stealing cables. Almost every week we
Wow.
have an internet
Oh,
disconnect.
my picture on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
studio
Uh huh. No, get out and in. Get out and in.
Now the last statistics,
just
Raul, is
No, no,
just
no.
a
You're okay.
minute by.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now you're okay. Now you're back. Okay. Your final words, please.
Froze again.
What can we do, Manny? What do you want us to do with you? You need, but I know Manny's signal is very strong, huh? One of the strongest. But many are complaining in converges right now
Yeah.
because of for so many reasons. Anyway,
Even though
uh,
even though last week Converge profits went soared about 14%, because they already reached the 3 million subscribers.
yes, yes, yes.
But
But
now but
now
now the latest
many are
the
Again,
complaining.
latest
come again.
statistics.
Now you're okay, Manny. Okay, your final words,
I
please.
can
Before we allow Muhammad to give his final words. Your final words,
wala bang
please.
boses?
Yeah, meron na.
Oh,
Pero nagpi-freeze yung ano mo, nagpi-freeze yung video mo.
this
Wala eh.
Yung noo mo lang nakikita namin. Very, very shiny head you have.
Yeah.
Just like coming from the shoe polisher.
No, he is using aloe vera.
Aloe vera.
let's give the team
Ay, that's one
the
good thing about you. You know pharmaceuticals. Eh.
Yeah.
Habibi, how come there is How come there is a shortage of
ko.
supply of Valium 10 right now?
Let's give
Shortage of what?
Supply of Valium 10.
I don't know about that. I am not into human medicine. My company specializes in veterinary products,
Cosmetics. Yes, sorry.
cosmetics and veterinary products.
Yes. Sorry.
And
Uh,
Valium is a restricted medicine. It cannot be,
I know.
given
I know.
easily.
It is being prescribed to me as an anti-panic,
Yeah.
anti-anxiety attack
Yes. Antidepressant.
medicine by my psychiatrist.
Yes.
But the
Yes.
problem is you cannot find it almost anywhere. He
Yes.
gave me another one which is giving a very not very bad, but I don't like the side effect. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. It might have side effects. That's true.
I'm used to Valium because it just put you to rest and then put you to sleep. And then when you wake up, as if nothing happened, something like that.
Yes. In other countries where marijuana oil is being allowed for medicinal use, like Thailand, like the
Yes,
others,
yes, yes,
they
yes.
are
Cannabis
using
oil.
it
Yes,
for they are using it for your reason now.
yes. But the problem is it's still banned here.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So,
And
Manny, for the final word,
no, he left for a while.
he left. Yeah.
He left for a while. Yeah.
Because
Anyway, we still have time.
mm,
Nothing to worry. We still have
the
2 minutes more.
only thing, Manny, is we pray Honorable Secretary Obli is well, feeling okay, and can come up with a press conference or an announcement that she is fine in the first place, and of course she will give her opinion on the stalemate situation with Kuwait and the steps that she will be taking in order to resolve that issue.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much for such a
Yeah,
beautiful.
we wish her the best, and we pray that she
Yes.
is healthy. We count on her, because in our trust in her in solving the issue in Saudi Arabia, very successful. The same thing in Sudan, the same thing in Egypt. So I think she will be capable in resolving the issue with Kuwait. I am 100% sure she will be able to.
I hope she will be there. I hope she will surprise us that she will be there. Yes.
I hope so. But if not, I
Yeah.
am sure her leadership will follow with the delegation. I mean,
Eventually.
you know,
Eventually.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
We
Yes.
will
Of
just pray
course.
for that. And we
Very good.
hope that, the problem will be solved, that everybody will be happy, that our local agencies here will be happy, our OFW stranded here will be happy. The same time, the stranded OFWs in Kuwait will be, repatriated and
Equally
will
happy.
also be
Yes. Yes.
happy.
Will be deployed. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, we are now we have reached the time limit provided by the studio. Thank you very much for your time, Mohammed.
Thank you for
Shukran
having me
jazilan,
also.
my Habibi,
Thank
and
you also.
thank you for your time, and thank you for representing your group from the Philippine Chamber of Commerce, and of course, and the Arab community in the Philippines, and in
Yes.
especially in your friends in Kuwait. Yes,
I also
thank you
hope,
very
Mr.
much.
Raul, that all what we said will not be considered personal. We don't
Well,
need any
I
undermining of
think we
any part.
were, yeah, I think we were very, how do we say, on the level, no,
Yes, we
that
respect
we do
all
not wish
people.
any ill will to anyone. We
No,
just
and we
want this to be
respect
resolved.
everybody in government. We really
Mm.
put our trust in them. We know that they are capable and well experienced, and the code can do the job well
Mm.
done.
Mm. Yeah, correct. I agree. Very well. So thank you very much, my friend,
Thank
and
you. Thank you.
have a good day. And shukran jazilan.
I
Okay,
hope we
take
could
care.
have good news after 3 days.
Alhamdulillah, me too, me too. Mashallah, mashallah. I hope
Thank
they
you.
will have a good news when they come back. Shukran,
Inshallah.
shukran
Thank
jazilan.
you.
Shukran.
Thank you, Rahul. Thank you.
Inshallah. Bye-bye,
Bye
bye.
bye. Bye, Mr. Manny.